Welcome to the fantasy audiobook, Hokage, Saving Uchiha starting with the loot attribute. Chapter 41, Konoha Village. On the second floor of the apartment building, Uchiha Mirai knocked on the door with two exquisite cakes in her hands. Kushina. A few seconds later, the door opened, and Uzumaki Kushina put her hands on her hips. Little kid, can't you just call me sister? A gift for you. Uchiha Mirai ignored Uzumaki Kushina and handed the cake in her hand forward. Uzumaki Kushina's face immediately turned from gloomy to bright, revealing a smile. Mirai, what's the matter with you coming here this time? Uchiha Mirai immediately replied. I accidentally made you angry when I visited you last time, and this time I came here specifically to apologize to you. Oh, you guys are so kind. Uzumaki Kushina was a little skeptical, and it's been almost a month since the last time. Hearing his words, Uchiha Mirai showed an innocent smile on his face. Because I'm going to take the Chunin exam recently, I'm quite busy. Also, I came here this time to ask you for some advice. Uchiha Mirai stated his purpose. Let me give you some pointers. Uzumaki Kushina was a little surprised. In this regard, Minato should be better, right? Uchiha Mirai smiled and shook his head. He has given me pointers many times. I want someone else to help me correct my shortcomings. Maybe I can get unexpected gains. As for why I came to you. Because everyone says you are also a very good ninja. Uchiha Mirai said seriously. Kid, you have a good eye. Hearing Uchiha Mirai's praise, Uzumaki Kushina snorted proudly. I agree to your request. She couldn't go out of the village to perform tasks. As a ninja, she either went shopping or stayed at home every day. She was almost bored to death. So, after hearing that Uchiha Mirai wanted her to give some guidance, Uzumaki Kushina agreed without any hesitation. After closing the door, the two walked towards the direction of the Hokage rock together. After arriving at the back mountain, Uzumaki Kushina waved to Uchiha Mirai. Kid, let me see your strength first. Kushina, then you have to be careful. I should be the one to say this, attack me with all your strength. Uzumaki Kushina snorted. Uchiha Mirai threw out several shurikens, and at the same time quickly formed seals with both hands. Shuriken Shadow Clone Technique. Fire Style. Phoenix Fire Technique. Instantly, hundreds of shurikens wrapped in flames attacked Uzumaki Kushina from all directions. Kid, you are quite good. Uzumaki Kushina laughed a few times, and an amazing chakra burst out from her body. Wind Style. Great breakthrough. It was obviously just AC level ninjutsu, but with the blessing of Uzumaki Kushina's chakra, the power was ridiculously strong. All the dense flaming shurikens in the sky were blown away in an instant. Uchiha Mirai appeared beside Uzumaki Kushina, and kicked at her with a whip kick. Uzumaki Kushina raised her arm to block. Bang, bang, bang. Uchiha Mirai and Uzumaki Kushina tangled together, making a series of muffled sounds. This guy's physical fitness is really abnormal. Uchiha Mirai couldn't help but complain. His current physical fitness is far superior to that of ordinary people, but he is still slightly at a disadvantage in fighting with Uzumaki Kushina with physical skills. He didn't know that Uzumaki Kushina's heart was also in turmoil. A teenage kid could actually be on par with her in a physical battle. Minato was right, Uchiha Mirai was a monster. A moment later, Uchiha Mirai pretended to be defeated and took the initiative to end the battle. Kushina, the battle just now is enough, right? Do you have anything to say about me? Hearing Uchiha Mirai's question, Uzumaki Kushina rolled her eyes. I have nothing to say. You shouldn't take the Chunin exam with your strength, you should take the Jonin exam. Ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward, Kagura Hard Eye. Hearing the prompt sound of the system in his mind, Uchiha Mirai's heart moved, and he felt that the whole person was much clearer in an instant. The wind blew the leaves, the birds sang, and the insects chirped. All the sounds and pictures became clearer than ever before. Uchiha Mirai knew in his heart that this was a sign that his perception had been greatly improved. Thinking of this, Uchiha Mirai closed his eyes and activated the Kagura Hard Eye, according to the information received in his mind. The next second, Uchiha Mirai sensed 6 chakras hidden nearby. In addition, countless chakra sources further away can also be clearly seen, appeared in his perception. It was like a map with a dark background, covered with dense red dots. Those nearby should be the Anbu and root responsible for monitoring Kushina. Those chakra sources scattered around in the distance should each represent a ninja. Uchiha Mirai was secretly surprised. According to his estimation, after opening the Kagura Heart Eye, the range he could perceive has almost reached about 10 kilometers. It is 10 times larger than the observation range of the Hyuga clan's Byakugan. Moreover, he can also perceive the strength of each chakra source. It can be said that with the secret technique of Kagura Heart Eye, he will be like opening a god's perspective in the future, and he doesn't have to worry about being ambushed or attacked. Don't be too foul, kid, what's wrong with you? Hearing Kushina Uzumaki's puzzled voice, Uchiha Mirai came back to his senses and showed a sincere smile on his face. Kushina, thank you so much for today. I'll treat you to a meal when I have a chance in the future. He and Kushina Uzumaki had 2 sparring matches, and once he obtained the Uzumaki Sage Body and once he obtained the Kagura Heart Eye. The rich harvest made him a little excited, but now it's better to go back and get familiar with the Kagura Heart Eye. Then, goodbye. It's inexplicable, I haven't said anything yet. Kushina Uzumaki looked at Uchiha Mirai's back and couldn't help mumbling a few words. This kid is really hard to guess. Kushina, Uchiha Mirai is a ninja of the Uchiha clan, and Lord Hokage doesn't want you to get too close to him. After Uchiha Mirai left, a masked Anbu appeared in front of her and said in a deep voice. HMPH, tell that old man to stop caring about me, or I'll tear down his office. Uzumaki Kushina snorted. It's fine that she's under surveillance and can't leave the village every day, but now they're interfering with who she spends time with. Do you really think she doesn't have a temper? If it weren't for not causing trouble for Minato, she would have wanted to go find that old guy Sarutobi Hiruzen to argue with him. Crunch, crunch, a sound of stepping on the snow sounded, and Yuhi Kurenai raised her head, and a smile immediately appeared on her chubby face. She exhaled a breath of white air, raised her right hand and waved, Mirai, here. Hong, have you been waiting for a long time? No, I just got here too. When Uchiha Mirai approached, Yuhi Kurenai suddenly became a little shy, twisting her hands behind her buttocks. Do you have hemorrhoids? Bah, you have hemorrhoids. Uchiha Mirai shook his head in confusion. Then why are you being so pretentious here? Yuhi Kurenai glared at Uchiha Mirai in shame and annoyance, and stuffed a red scarf into his hand. Scarf. Looking at Uchiha Mirai's inquiring eyes, Yuhi Kurenai raised her chin and snorted. I just saw that you were wearing too thin clothes, and I was afraid that you would get sick and affect the upcoming Chunin exam. Don't think too much. This overwhelming sense of tsunere made Uchiha Mirai laugh. He wrapped the scarf around his neck and showed a surprised expression, so warm. Yuhi Kurenai's mouth curled up slightly. Before she could say anything, she heard Uchiha Mirai speak again. Kurena, where did you buy this? I'll buy dozens of them to keep. Future, you big idiot. Ha 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 ha, I'm just kidding you. Uchiha Mirai looked at Yuhi Kurenai and said sincerely, Kurena, thank you, I like it very much. Why do you have to tell me specifically whether you like it or not? Hey, it's almost time, let's go to the examination room first. Hearing the voice on the side, Uchiha Mirai looked surprised. Asuma. When did you come? Quote. This fool, he was obviously the first to arrive, don't pretend to be the one who just saw him. Asuma Sarutobi clenched his fists. Huh. A grown man actually wears a scarf, and it's red, not manly at all. Uchiha Mirai walked past him without looking away, turned his head and looked at Yuhi Kurenai. Strange, why is there such a strong smell of vinegar so early in the morning? Ah, looking at the backs of the 2 people leaving, Asuma Sarutobi stamped his feet in anger. I really want to beat this guy up. Uchiha Mirai walked into the ninja school, and met Hitaki Kakashi, Nohara Rin and Uchiha Obito on the way. Mirai, good morning. Huh, how do you know that this is the scarf that Kurenai knitted for me? The 3 people's faces were full of black lines. Did anyone ask you about the scarf just now? After Uchiha Mirai left, Uchiha Obito looked at Nohara Rin beside him expectantly. Lin, da me. Walking into the teaching building, a group of people gathered at the corner of the stairs, seemingly arguing about something. Why don't you let us in? That's right, we are all ninjas who come to take the exam, what are you doing blocking us here? The exam is about to start, get out of the way. Uchiha Mirai and the others looked forward and found that two people were blocking the door of classroom 501, one in front and one behind. All those who wanted to go in were easily knocked to the ground by the other party. These guys, aren't they too bad? Sarutobi Asuma said angrily. How could they block the door of the examination room and not let us in? Mirai, do we want to go over and take a look? Yuhi Kurenai looked at Uchiha Mirai and asked. Don't worry about them. Uchiha Mirai shook his head. The guys who are surrounding here are destined to be eliminated. After hearing what Uchiha Mirai said, Sarutobi Asuma snorted unhappily. Do you have the same idea as the two guys blocking the door? Are you planning to use this despicable method to eliminate your competitors? We are not on a mission now, so no matter what decision you make, I will not sit idly by. Hearing what Sarutobi Asuma said, Uchiha Mirai shrugged. Whatever you want. After that, Uchiha Mirai turned his head and said to Yuhi Kurenai, let's go up first. Hearing what Uchiha Mirai said, Yuhi Kurenai was a little surprised. Future, isn't the examination room here? Take a closer look, is this really our examination room? Yuhi Kurenai was stunned, and then she noticed something unusual. She is very talented in illusion, and after Uchiha Mirai's reminder, she easily realized that she was in an illusion. Open. As the illusion was lifted, the number plate 501 in front of him began to distort and change, changing into 401. Future, have you discovered it a long time ago? Sunset Red looking at Uchiha Mirai in admiration. Although this illusion is not very difficult to break, it is not an easy thing to detect the abnormality at the first time. Hong, you have to remember that the assessment of the Chunin exam does not have to be conducted in the examination room. Once your thinking is limited by your inherent cognition, you are likely to fall into the trap carefully designed by others. Mirai, I know. As Sarutobi Asuma's face turned pale as he watched the two people walk up to the upper floor. When he thought of his high-spirited speech just now, he felt like a clown. Why is he obviously working hard, but he is always outdone by Uchiha Mirai? Standing there in a daze for a while, Sarutobi Asuma still gritted his teeth and followed Uchiha Mirai up the stairs. If he stopped here, he would have no way to get rid of the shadow of Hokage's son. Arriving at the real examination room, Uchiha Mirai and the other two pushed the door and walked in. The classroom can be described as crowded with people. The seats had already been filled, and many people were standing in the corridors, corners, and walls. How can we take the exam? Is there something wrong with the arrangement? Seeing the scene in front of her, Yuhi Kurenai asked in surprise. Sarutobi Asuma also frowned. It was really too much. How could one examination room accommodate so many candidates? How can we take the exam if there is not even enough room to sit? Sarutobi Asuma wanted to find the relevant person in charge to report the situation on the spot, but seeing that Uchiha Mirai still looked indifferent, he inexplicably felt something was wrong. Forget it, let's see what Uchiha Mirai thinks first. As soon as this thought came up, Sarutobi Asuma felt a sense of shame in his heart. But thinking of the embarrassment of being slapped in the face many times in the past, Sarutobi Asuma did not make any extra moves after all. Look, this guy is Uchiha Mirai, the genius of the Uchiha clan. He looks just ordinary. If it weren't for the Hokage's admission, I really couldn't believe that such a kid could actually kill two Jonin. Hey, letting this kind of monster take the Chunin exam, isn't this bullying the honest people? Amid the discussion of the crowd, Uchiha Mirai walked to a seat by the window. You guys get out of the way, I want this seat. I want this position. Hearing Uchiha Mirai's domineering declaration, the classroom suddenly became quiet. Originally, his name was very eye-catching here, and now saying such words, it attracted everyone's attention in an instant. What did you say? We came here first. If you want to sit in the exam, come earlier next time. The team ninja named by Uchiha Mirai retorted coldly. They knew that Uchiha Mirai was very powerful, but it did not mean that they would obey the other party's orders obediently. I'll give you one last chance. Leave by yourself, or I will help you leave. Uchiha Mirai said lightly. Don't be arrogant here. Do you want to disrupt the order of the examination room? Be careful of being disqualified from the exam. Seeing that the three people still had no intention of leaving, Uchiha Mirai snorted lightly. Bang, bang, bang. With 3 consecutive muffled sounds, the 3 sitting genin just now fell into the crowd. Uchiha Mirai quietly sat in the seat he had just snatched, and Yuhi Kurenai and Sarutobi Asuma also sat down silently. Seeing that Uchiha Mirai actually chose to take action, the classroom immediately exploded. This is the ninja of the Uchiha clan, too arrogant. Dare to attack your companions blatantly, aren't you afraid of being disqualified? He is a genius ninja from a wealthy ninja clan, and his teammate is the son of the Hokage. Even the chief examiner would not dare to provoke him, right? But just now Uchiha Mirai's actions were really fast. I didn't see clearly, and those 3 unlucky guys flew out. Hearing the whispers of the people around him, Sarutobi Asuma felt like sitting on pins and needles. Because of Uchiha Mirai's behavior, he has been labeled as the arrogant second generation of the Kage by everyone. If it weren't for the previous slap in the face, he would have angrily questioned Uchiha Mirai what he wanted to do. Although Yuhi Kurenai did not understand Uchiha Mirai's intention, she sat in her seat quietly and did not move because of her trust in Uchiha Mirai. She knew that Uchiha Mirai's usual personality was definitely not like this, so there must be another meaning behind such an action. Seeing that Uchiha Mirai did not continue to move after grabbing the seat, everyone's eyes gradually shifted away. Among them, some candidates showed a thoughtful look. For a while, the atmosphere in the classroom became a little weird inexplicably. After a while, the classroom suddenly became chaotic. Many teams without seats began to learn from Uchiha Mirai to grab seats. Except for the area where Uchiha Mirai was located, almost all other places were affected. In the monitoring room, Sarutobi Hiruzen, Yuhi Shinku, Namikaze Minato and other guiding ninjas all showed shocked expressions on their faces. Shinku, your disciple is really sharp. Sarutobi Hiruzen spoke with a complicated expression. He personally formulated the rules for this Chunin exam. He also designed many tests that he thought were very interesting. Sarutobi Hiruzen was originally very pleased with his design, but he didn't expect that Uchiha Mirai could guess his thoughts in such a short time. Recalling Shimura Danzo's previous advice, Sarutobi Hiruzen suddenly felt a little flustered. Could he really have raised a tiger to harm him? No. Sarutobi Hiruzen suddenly laughed at himself. He was really influenced by that guy Danzo. Konoha village had been run by him like an iron barrel. A small Uchiha would never make any waves. Senior Shinku is really lucky to have such a worry-free disciple. Namikaze Minato also smiled and praised. After spending a long time together, he also had a good impression of Uchiha Mirai. Facing the teasing of everyone, Yuhi Shinku felt mixed emotions. This kid is so good. His daughter is about to be kidnapped. When he thought that the scarf that Yuhi Kurenai knitted overnight was not for him, the old father Yuhi Shinku felt his heart bleeding. Ding ling ling. A quick bell rang, and several masked Anbu ninjas walked into the classroom. Quiet. With a low shout, the classroom gradually became quiet. Now, those who don't have seats leave the classroom immediately. What? Hearing the Anbu's request, all the standing ninjas couldn't help but exclaimed. Leave the classroom. Is this saying that they have been disqualified from the exam? Why do we have to leave the classroom? We clearly had seats, but they were taken away by others. Isn't it because you didn't arrange them properly that we don't have seats? Why should we bear the consequences? Faced with the questioning of a group of ninjas, several Anbu revealed their undisguised murderous intent. This is the rule. If you don't want to be permanently disqualified from the exam, leave now. Quote. The cold tone made those indignant genin stop their rage. They knew that this group of Anbu ninjas who were directly under the third Hokage would not joke with them. Everyone looked towards the window in the back row. There, Uchiha Mirai sat in his seat with his arms folded across his chest and a calm expression, as if he had expected all this. This guy had thought of this a long time ago, so he made a move to grab the seat. Everyone looked at Uchiha Mirai with fear in their eyes. It was too terrifying to be able to detect this hidden rule as soon as he entered the examination room. Some ninjas sitting in the seats showed a look of relief on their faces. If they had not figured it out in advance, they would be the ones who would lose their qualifications now, right? Others who lost their qualifications showed annoyance on their faces. Just now they were still condemning Uchiha Mirai's arrogant behavior, but I didn't expect that I was the clown. The other party had clearly handed over the solution to the problem at the first time, but they chose to ignore it because of their ignorance and arrogance. If they could figure it out earlier, they wouldn't have fallen to this point. Unfortunately, it's too late to say anything now. Yuhi Kurenai looked at Uchiha Mirai with shining eyes, and she knew that his actions in the future must have a special meaning. Now it seems to be true. Sarutobi Asuma lowered his head in disappointment. Although he didn't lose face because of his impulse this time, he felt a deep sense of powerlessness. He felt that every day he spent in Konoha was very depressed. Maybe, leaving Konoha is a good choice. When the examination room was quiet, the ninjas of the Anbu stood in the four corners. The Anbu standing on the podium waved his hand. Okay, the first exam of the Chunin exam officially begins. After briefly introducing the rules, the Anbu handed out the pre-printed test papers. The rules were simple. As long as you could get a passing grade, you could advance to the next test. Uchiha Mirai picked up the test paper and glanced at it, and found that it was full of very simple basic questions. For example, the nature of chakra, the meridian system in the human body, how to activate ninjutsu, etc. Only the last two questions were about blood limit and blood elimination, and it took a certain amount of knowledge to answer them. Compared with the Chunin exam hosted by Morino Ibiki and participated in by the 12 Little Strongmen, it was simply too simple. It seems, in the war-torn era, the theoretical knowledge of ninjas was much more relaxed. Uchiha Mirai answered the questions in a short time. He glanced around the examination room and found that everyone looked relaxed and seemed to have no pressure at all. Soon, the exam time was over. The Anbu in charge of the invigilation marked the papers on the spot, and in the end only 5 people were eliminated because of failing scores. Only 2 people were eliminated because of cheating. This shows that the difficulty of this exam is indeed very ordinary. Candidates who pass the exam will gather in the Death Forest in 3 days. After saying some information about the next exam, the Anbu ninja left with the test paper. The first Chunin exam is over. The name of Uchiha Mirai has also appeared in people's vision again after a period of silence. 3 days later, outside the Death Forest, after signing the life and death agreement, the ninja teams participating in the Chunin exam each received one of the Heaven and Earth Scrolls. This exam is based on teams. As long as they can collect the Heaven and Earth Scrolls and successfully enter the Central Tower, they will be considered successful. The Death Forest is full of ferocious beasts and poisonous insects, and the environment is harsh. If you are not careful, your life will be in danger. And in order to simulate the cruel environment on the battlefield, this assessment tacitly allows each team to fight each other for victory. Of course, as long as the team chooses to surrender the scroll before being killed during the battle, the other teams cannot continue to attack. Such a cruel rule makes all the candidates who take the exam look heavy-faced. Except for the Uchiha Future team. Almost all teams have reached a consensus. If you encounter the Uchiha Future team, you can only consider yourself unlucky. 12 o'clock noon. Each ninja team entered the Death Forest from different entrances. The second round of the Chunin exam officially begins. Death Forest. Because it is winter, there are bare tree trunks and withered vines everywhere. Compared with spring and summer, it is difficult to find a suitable hiding place in the Death Forest now. In addition, it snowed not long ago, and the ground was covered with snow. It is almost impossible to hide your tracks. Future, what are your plans? After observing the surrounding environment, Yuhi Kurenai habitually asked Uchiha Mirai for his opinion. Uchiha Mirai waved forward. Go directly to the Central Tower. Yuhi Kurenai was a little puzzled. But if we can't collect all the scrolls of heaven and earth, we can't pass the test even if we reach the Central Tower. We will always meet other teams on the way. Uchiha Mirai explained patiently. If we don't meet them, then wait at the gate of the Central Tower. The team that comes to the Central Tower must have collected all the scrolls of heaven and earth. If we snatch them, we can pass the level. Hearing Uchiha Mirai's words, Yuhi Kurenai opened her mouth in shock. Can it be played like this? After thinking about it carefully, it seems to make sense. If this method is used by other teams, it may be unrealistic. After all, if you stay at the gate of the Central Tower, you may become the target of public criticism. But their team is different. With the strength of the future, there is no need to worry about such things. Asuma, what do you think? Uchiha Mirai looked at Sarutobi Asuma. I'm fine with either, you decide. Looking at the silent Sarutobi Asuma, Uchiha Mirai was a little puzzled. I don't know if it was his illusion, but since the first Chunin exam, Asuma seemed to have become a little depressed. However, he was not interested in exploring too much about this second-generation Kage who was in his rebellious period. He determined the direction and waved his hand, let's go. Maybe they were traveling too fast. It only took an hour for Uchiha Mirai and the other two to arrive at the entrance of the central tower. According to the plan, they just stood silently at the door, waiting for the arrival of other ninja teams. As time went by, more and more ninja teams came to the central tower. But because they saw Uchiha Mirai and his men standing at the door, each team chose to stop and watch from a distance. Then a magical scene happened. 3 days later, more than a dozen ninja teams stood not far from the central tower. In the cold wind, everyone squatted on the ground and looked at each other, all a little helpless. What is Uchiha Mirai doing? He is here to eliminate everyone, right? It shouldn't be. The examiner will definitely come out to stop him. Could it be that they haven't collected all the scrolls of heaven and earth, so they want to rob the team that came to the central tower? Don't say it, it's very likely. Arrogant Uchiha kid. Hearing the discussion of the crowd, Uchiha Obito couldn't help it. He stood up and snorted, Kakashi, are we going to wait here all the time? Your strength is not bad, you should be able to hold Uchiha Mirai back, right? Hearing Uchiha Obito's words, Hatake Kakashi shook his head, you think too highly of me. As long as Mirai is here, no one can enter the central tower. Seeing that Hatake Kakashi is so unconfident, let alone others. After a moment of silence, someone suggested, if we attack together, Uchiha Mirai may not be able to stop all of us. No one agreed. Uchiha Mirai is a strong man who can kill a Jonin. Who dares to be the first to come out? This scene made Might Guy's blood boil. So handsome. It would be great if his youth could shine like Mirai. Mirai, they don't seem to dare to come over. Is this really possible? Yuhi Kurenai looked at Uchiha Mirai and said with some worry. The examination time of the Death Forest is 5 days. Now 3 days have passed. She thought that she could just grab the team that wanted to pass the level and it would be over, but she didn't expect that after such a long time, not even one team had the intention to come over. If this goes on, will the village just sit back and watch? Don't worry, Kurenai, there will always be someone who can't help it. Uchiha Mirai said calmly. Before he finished speaking, there was a sound of fighting in front of him. Then, 2 scrolls, 1 day and 1 land, were thrown from a distance. Hey, we can pass the level now. Uchiha Mirai stood up, took the scroll in his hand, turned around and walked into the central tower, leaving Yuhi Kurenai in a state of confusion. No, there is actually such a way to pass the level. I just sat at the door and rested for 3 days, and someone took the initiative to collect the scrolls and sent them up. Amazing. Too amazing. After Uchiha Mirai walked into the central tower and submitted the scroll of heaven and earth, the ninja teams waiting outside rushed in one after another. Seeing this scene, everyone couldn't help but twitch their lips. Good guy. Such a weird scene. Even if the Chunin exam is held for another 100 years, I'm afraid there is no way to reproduce it. After passing the level, Uchiha Mirai walked aside and closed his eyes to rest. There are still 2 days before the end of the game. Before the time is up, they still have to wait here patiently. 2 days later, with the last team of ninjas submitting the scroll of heaven and earth, the assessment of the Death Forest is declared over. Immediately afterwards, a burst of exclamations sounded. The 3rd generation Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen came in front of everyone with the support of a group of senior ninjas. Thank you for your hard work. Being here proves that everyone is a strong ninja. However, strength is not the only criterion for becoming an excellent ninja. Where the leaves are flying, the fire will continue to grow. The flames will continue to illuminate the village and let new leaves sprout. Listening to Sarutobi Hiruzen's passionate speech, Uchiha Mirai snorted in disdain. I don't know how he can be so thick-skinned to say such words in front of everyone with great righteousness. Just when Uchiha Mirai was about to fall asleep, Sarutobi Hiruzen finally stopped. He took a puff of cigarette and showed a kind smile on his face. The last round of this exam is a personal battle. Candidates will choose their opponents through random computer draws. Whether you win or lose, everyone has 3 chances. Finally, the jury will decide whether the candidates can be promoted to Chunin based on their performance. After Sarutobi Hiruzen read out the exam rules, the names on the central big screen began to change rapidly. The next second, the screen freezes. Might Guy vs Uchiha Obito. Looking at his name appearing on the screen, Might Guy shouted excitedly, "I am the first one to appear. With so many people watching, I must perform well. Youth cannot afford to slack off." Compared to the energetic Might Guy, Uchiha Obito walked slowly to the center of the venue with his hands in his pockets. "Kai, although you are not my target, I lost to you because of carelessness in the graduation exam. This time I can take this opportunity to avenge my previous shame. Come on, I will not show mercy." Looking at Uchiha Obito's confident look, the people present began to whisper. "This guy is also a Uchiha ninja. He looks so arrogant, so he must be very strong, right? Of course, no one in the Uchiha clan is easy to mess with. Just look at Uchiha future. But why did I hear that Uchiha Obito was the last one in the ninja school? Huh, impossible." Hearing the discussion of the crowd, Uchiha Obito's eyes were full of fighting spirit. Humph, after today, he will let everyone know that he, Uchiha Obito, is not the last one in the past. "Referee, let's start." Seeing that both sides were ready, the referee blew the whistle in his mouth. The next second, a green figure flashed by. Shadow leaf dance. Bang! Uchiha Obito was kicked in the chin and his body flew into the air. Konoha whirlwind. Uchiha Obito was kicked again in the air by a whip kick, and his body fell heavily to the ground. Obito, Kakashi and Nohara Rin both held their foreheads, speechless about Uchiha Obito's performance. They saw it clearly just now. When the referee announced the start of the match, Obito had not yet pulled his hands out of his trouser pockets, so he was defeated without even resisting. Second match, Nohara Rin vs Yuhi Kurenai. Third match, Ebisu vs Shiranui Genma. Quote. 11th match, Hitaki Kakashi vs Uchiha Mirai. Seeing the 2 names on the big screen, everyone present showed excitement on their faces. If 2 recognized strong men were to be selected in this Chunin exam, they would definitely be Uchiha Mirai and Hitaki Kakashi. And both of them are recognized genius ninjas. One is recognized as the one genius of Konoha, and the other as a genius boy from the wealthy Uchiha family. Kakashi became famous earlier, but Uchiha Mirai has been more popular recently. The fight between the 2 of them instantly aroused everyone's interest. Who do you think will win this battle? It must be Uchiha Mirai. During the second exam, Kakashi admitted that it was not Uchiha Mirai. But Kakashi is not weak either. I heard that he was in the Anbu for a while. Even if Uchiha Mirai can win, it will be difficult. Yes, no matter what, this duel will be very exciting. Under the expectant eyes of everyone, Uchiha Mirai and Hitaki Kakashi walked to the center of the venue. Uchiha Mirai looked at Hitaki Kakashi and shrugged. "Kakashi, you are not very lucky." "No, I should say I am very lucky." Hitaki Kakashi clenched the chakra short sword with both hands. "In this Chunin exam, the opponent I want to meet most is you." "Really?" Looking at Hitaki Kakashi's eyes full of fighting spirit, Uchiha Mirai smiled softly. "Then you have to be serious. I am not used to showing mercy. Don't worry, I have mastered a lot of new ninjutsu during this period, which will definitely surprise you." Quote. Hitaki Kakashi said, and his figure disappeared from the spot. The next moment, a cold light cut through Uchiha Mirai's body. Quack, quack, quack. Uchiha Mirai's body turned into dozens of crows flying in all directions. Crow clones. Hitaki Kakashi quickly looked around, and did not find Uchiha Mirai's figure, so he jumped directly and jumped high into the air. As he jumped up, he stretched out 2 arms on the ground where he was standing. "I won't fall for the same trick a second time. Really?" Hearing the voice from behind, Hitaki Kakashi suddenly turned around and found that Uchiha Mirai had appeared behind him at some point. Bang! An elbow hit Hitaki Kakashi to the ground. Immediately afterwards, Uchiha Mirai's long sword was placed on Hitaki Kakashi's neck. Lose, Kakashi loses. What happened just now? How come the battle is over in the blink of an eye? Quote. It was too fast, I couldn't see the movements of the two people clearly. This is the strength of Uchiha Mirai. Even Hitaki Kakashi was defeated so easily. Yes, it feels like the two people are not opponents of the same level at all. Uchiha Mirai solved the battle in just a few seconds. Is this a battle between strong people? I don't understand it at all. Can anyone explain it to us? No one expected that a battle that everyone was looking forward to would end so anticlimactically. Uchiha Mirai directly crushed Hitaki Kakashi. Why? I actually lost just like that. Hitaki Kakashi looked at Uchiha Mirai with a bitter look on his face. He knew that he was no match for Uchiha Mirai, but he never thought that he would lose so easily. You know, in the previous battle, Uchiha Mirai simply used a few of the most basic ninjutsu. Whether it was the powerful 8 Gates Ninja or the 3 Magatama Sharingan of the Uchiha clan, the opponent had not used them yet. In this situation, he was actually crushed by Uchiha Mirai. From the graduation exam of the ninja school, the two were evenly matched. Then, Uchiha Mirai relied on the Sharingan to catch his Chidori with one hand. Until now, Uchiha Mirai didn't use any trump cards and easily defeated him. The gap between the two people was getting bigger and bigger, which hit the always arrogant Hitaki Kakashi hard. Kakashi, don't pursue those fancy things too much. Sometimes the most basic ones are often the most effective means. Uchiha Mirai advised Hitaki Kakashi. In the original work, Hitaki Kakashi had amazing talent when he was a child, but after getting the Sharingan, he chose to take another path. He made a name for himself as Copy Ninja Kakashi, with fancy ninjutsu. In Uchiha Mirai's view, this was a complete waste of his talent. If Kakashi could put all his thoughts into studying Hitaki swordsmanship, the achievements he could make would definitely be 100 times stronger than the so-called Konoha technician. At least, he wouldn't win so badly when facing a guy like Momochi Zabuza. Cough, cough, cough. Seeing Uchiha Mirai and Hitaki Kakashi walk off the field, Sarutobi Hiruzen coughed a few times, attracting everyone's attention. The battle just now ended very quickly, but it was actually very exciting. Considering that many people don't understand, I will explain it to you here. Sarutobi Hiruzen was a little helpless. This battle obviously exceeded the level of a Chunin duel, causing many people to not understand what happened at all. In order to satisfy everyone's curiosity, he could only stand up and act as a commentator. When the battle started, Kakashi first approached Uchiha Mirai through the instant body technique, and then pierced Uchiha Mirai's body with a short knife. But that was just Uchiha Mirai's crow clone. After the crow clone was released, it turned into dozens of crows flying everywhere. Just then, Hitaki Kakashi noticed the abnormality under his feet and chose to jump into the air to avoid Uchiha Mirai's hard beheading technique. But in fact, the one who performed the hard beheading technique below was still Uchiha Mirai's shadow clone, and the purpose was just a feint. Uchiha Mirai's real body hid among the crows flying around before through the transformation technique. When Kakashi couldn't get the leverage in the air, he appeared behind Kakashi and took him down with one blow. Hearing Sarutobi Hiruzen's analysis, all the ninjas present showed shocked expressions on their faces. They didn't expect that a battle that ended so quickly would have so many confrontations in secret. Especially Uchiha Mirai. This guy is so terrifying, his series of tricks are hard to defend against. Even from a god's perspective, they all feel suffocated. It's so scary. If I meet an opponent like Uchiha Mirai in the future, I really don't know how I can survive. Shadow clones, transformation techniques, sea-level ninjutsu. They are just ordinary things, but they play an unimaginable role. Is this the world of genius ninjas? Why do I feel like I can do it? I will fight like this next time I meet an enemy. Don't dream. Have you ever thought about it? The battle just now happened in a flash. Using so many ninjutsu at once, do you have such a terrifying hand seal speed? That's right. Hearing the discussion of the crowd and Sarutobi Hiruzen's explanation, Hitaki Kakashi also felt a sense of sudden enlightenment in his heart. Since his father's death, he has not practiced some basic things such as hand seals and swordsmanship for a long time. I originally thought that the more abilities I mastered, the better, but now it seems that this is not the case. To become a truly strong person, you must have a solid foundation. The third individual battle continued and lasted until the afternoon. Uchiha Mirai yawned in boredom. After defeating Hatake Kakashi, he drew his opponent almost fell asleep because he chose to give up directly. Fortunately, when the exam was over, it was not Sarutobi Hiruzen who came up to summarize. Otherwise, Uchiha was sure that the old man would definitely make another brainwashing speech. Well, this Chunin exam is over successfully. The ninjas who have been promoted will receive relevant documents and tactical vests in the next 3 days. With the voice of the examiner, this Chunin exam officially came to an end. Except for Uchiha Obito, who did not get promoted to Chunin, Might Guy, Kurenai Yuhi, Asuma Sarutobi, Kakashi and others all passed the assessment. Let's have dinner together today, Kurenai Yuhi suggested to Kakashi and others. Hearing her proposal, everyone nodded in agreement. Everyone was in the same class and had a good relationship. Now they were promoted to Chunin together, so they should find a place to celebrate. I won't go. Uchiha Obito shook his head and refused. He felt very disappointed that he didn't become a Chunin, and he didn't even have the mood to eat with Nohara Rin. Obito, it's okay. The Chunin exam is held every 3 months. You will definitely be promoted to Chunin next time. Nohara Rin comforted. Ha 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 ha. Of course, after all, I am a man who wants to become Hokage. Uchiha Obito put his hands on his hips and laughed a few times, turned his back to everyone. I promised my grandma that I would go back to buy flour for her, I'm leaving first. Looking at Uchiha Obito's back, Nohara Rin felt helpless. Obito is good at everything, but sometimes he is too stubborn. He wants to shut himself up when he encounters something, which is really worrying. Then let's go. Feeling the gazes of the crowd, Uchiha Mirai asked tentatively. Why does it feel like he has become the backbone of the crowd inexplicably? Under the leadership of Uchiha Mirai, the group came to the best-reputed barbecue restaurant in Konoha Village. While no one was paying attention, Ebisu took out the shochu that he had secretly prepared. Although there is a rule among ninjas that minors are not allowed to drink, the atmosphere has been set here, and everyone poured themselves a glass. Uchiha Mirai clearly saw that after taking a sip of wine, Yuhi Kurenai showed an excited smile on her face. That cute look made Uchiha Mirai feel itchy. He then remembered that in the original work, Yuhi Kurenai was a woman who liked to drink like Tsunade. I don't know if Kurenai's alcohol tolerance is good. If not, then he is blessed. Just then, a breeze blew by, and Uchiha Mirai looked up and saw Hatake Kakashi coming to him with a wine glass. Future, you taught me another lesson today. No matter how big the gap between us is, I will definitely make you look at me with new eyes one day. After saying that, Hatake Kakashi drank the wine in his hand, and a blush appeared on his face. Looking at Hatake Kakashi's fighting spirit, Uchiha Mirai could feel that Kakashi had changed a lot and his personality had gradually become more cheerful. Most importantly, Kakashi regained his desire to become stronger. In this way, maybe in the near future, Kakashi will become one of his capable subordinates. Thinking of this, Uchiha Mirai raised the wine glass in his hand and drank it in one gulp. Kakashi, I look forward to that day. Uchiha clan land. In the dense forest behind the ancestral hall. Several wooden blocks stood alone in the open space, and then a kunai shot out from a distance. At the moment when the kunai approached the wooden block, Uchiha Mirai's figure appeared out of thin air. Rasengan. Boom. Countless wood chips flew, and the wooden block was broken into pieces. Alas, I still feel a little bit wrong. Uchiha Mirai stood there, with a distressed expression on his face. Since he got the Flying Thunder God, he would take a certain amount of time to practice every day. But until now, he has not been able to be as smooth as Minato Namikaze when using the Flying Thunder God technique. Because every time he teleported through the Flying Thunder God technique, he needed a certain amount of reaction time to analyze the positions of both sides of the enemy, so as to determine the next offensive action. Although the time was short, it did not have much impact when facing those weak ninjas. But Uchiha Mirai knew that once he had to face those powerful people above the level of Kage, this sense of sluggishness would make the Flying Thunder God technique lose its cunningness. In a battle between powerful people, the slightest gap could be infinitely widened. This kind of defect was something Uchiha Mirai absolutely did not want to see. It seems that it is unlikely to improve my reaction speed through training. In this case, I can only go to Namikaze Minato. Uchiha Mirai murmured. Now he could only pray that Namikaze Minato also had that special physique. Otherwise, even if he had a plundering system, it would not be realistic for him to improve his reaction speed. Mirai, you are here. Looking at the lunchbox in Uchiha Mirai's hand, Uzumaki Kushina showed a warm smile on her face. Originally, he was very dissatisfied with Uchiha Mirai taking up Minato's time every day. After all, Minato often had to go out on missions, and the two of them didn't have much time together. But after eating the food cooked by Uchiha Mirai, Uzumaki Kushina's attitude changed 180 degrees. There was no other way. The novel food brought by Uchiha Mirai was so delicious that she couldn't refuse it. Kushina, you should pay attention to your facial expressions. Drooling over food is a very unsightly thing. Hearing Uchiha Mirai's words, Uzumaki Kushina snorted. You should tell your girlfriend about these requests. Grabbing the lunchbox from Uchiha Mirai's hand, Uzumaki Kushina turned around and shouted, Minato. Here I come. Namikaze Minato ran out of the room and said to Uzumaki Kushina, Kushina, don't forget to leave me some food this time. I know, the last few times it was because I was distracted while reading novels. Looking at Uzumaki Kushina's impatient look, Namikaze Minato put his hand on Uchiha Mirai's shoulder. Mirai, let's fight quickly this time, otherwise I will be hungry again. After that, he directly activated the Flying Thunder God technique and brought Uchiha Mirai to the usual training ground. No extra nonsense, the two started fighting directly. After half an hour, Minato Namikaze stopped sparring immediately. Mirai, that's all for today. I'm going back first. Looking at Minato Namikaze who disappeared on the spot, Uchiha Mirai's mouth twitched. This guy's movements are really smooth. But Uchiha Mirai was not unhappy. After all, Minato Namikaze always tried his best every time he practiced with him. Being able to fight with such a strong man every day is also very helpful for his improvement in all aspects. At this moment, a system prompt sounded in Uchiha Mirai's mind. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward, Extreme Reaction Nerve. Uchiha Mirai's face suddenly became excited. Extreme Reaction Nerve. What he wanted is finally here. His guess was right. Minato Namikaze's physique should also be a special physique similar to the Sage Body, so he can plunder the system as a battle reward to become his own ability. Uchiha Mirai looked at his attribute panel. Name: Uchiha Mirai. Physique: 215. Spiritual Strength: 207. Chakra: 210. Bloodline Limit: Sharingan, Magnetic Release, Gold Dust. Ninjutsu: Others: Shiki Fujin, 4 Symbols Seal, 8 Gates Ninjutsu, Kagura Heart's Eye, 8 Diagrams Seal, Diamond Seal, Contract Seal, Uzumaki Sage Body, Extreme Reaction Nerve. Looking at the densely packed attribute panel, Uchiha Mirai clicked with satisfaction, nodding. In addition to the Extreme Reaction Nerve he just obtained, during the period after the Chunin exam, he also plundered a lot of rewards from Minato Namikaze. Most of them are sealing techniques, which is a great harvest. In this world, sealing techniques are a very special existence. There is almost nothing that cannot be sealed by sealing techniques. Amaterasu Flame, Tailed Beasts, Dragon Veins, Reincarnated Ninjas, and even as strong as Kagaya Otsutsuki, will also be punished by sealing techniques. It can be said that any sealing technique is extremely precious. Since you have already obtained the reward you want, let's go to the clan to experience it in person. Uchiha Mirai chuckled and rushed towards the direction of the Uchiha clan. Flying Thunder God Technique. Uchiha Mirai's figure kept flashing in the dense forest, and he would disappear immediately after each appearance. At the same time, where he disappeared, the trunks of the trees would leave traces of being attacked at the same height. After a long time, Uchiha Mirai stopped and looked at his masterpiece with a satisfied smile on his face. After possessing the Extreme Reaction Nerve, his reaction speed is simply outrageous. The sluggish feeling when using the Flying Thunder God technique completely disappeared, and it was silky smooth. Moreover, the Extreme Reaction Nerve does not only make the Flying Thunder God more handy. Combined with the powerful dynamic vision of the 3 Magatama Sharingan, various attack methods can also be used at high speed. Uchiha Mirai feels that he is now terribly strong. Hokage's office. Sarutobi Hiruzen was in a good mood and leaned back in his chair, puffing out smoke one after another. In front of him was the information just sent from the front line. The third-generation Raikage of the Hidden Cloud Village died in the Hidden Rock Village. It is said that he was besieged by the third-generation Tsuchikage Onoki and tens of thousands of ninjas, and died of exhaustion after persisting for 3 days and 3 nights. According to the intelligence, the third Raikage led several elite ninjas to form a decapitation team and wanted to attack the Hidden Rock Village. However, due to the information leak, they were ambushed by Onoki. In order to protect his men, he chose to stay behind alone. For this, Sarutobi Hiruzen had only one comment: reckless man. HMPH. Those guys in the Hidden Cloud Village are all a bunch of brainless reckless men. Sarutobi Hiruzen snorted. Although his teacher, Senju Tobarama, had done the same thing as the third Raikage, he chose to take the initiative to cover the retreat in order to protect them, and finally died at the hands of Kinkaku and Ginkaku, 2 rebellious ninjas from the Hidden Cloud Village. Such an action once left a deep impression on him, but Sarutobi Hiruzen now disagrees with it. As he grows older, his views on many things have changed greatly. The shadow is the soul of a village and should be in the center. How can he risk his life? A reckless man like the third Raikage who does things without considering the consequences does not understand politics at all. Now that he is dead, the Hidden Cloud Village is probably in chaos, right? If it were him, he would never make the same choice. But it's good this way. The Hidden Cloud Village and the Hidden Rock Village attack each other, and Konoha can reap the benefits. At this moment, the door of the office was suddenly knocked. Come in, Hokage, this is bad. Looking at the Anbu who hurried in, Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned. What's the matter? The ninjas from the Hidden Cloud Village attacked our frontline camp. What? Hearing the report from the Anbu, Sarutobi Hiruzen was shocked and immediately stood up from his seat. Hokage, this is a secret report from the front line. Taking the intelligence scroll from the Anbu, Sarutobi Hiruzen's face was uncertain. Although in his opinion, such information was very outrageous, he also knew that no one would joke with him about such things. What are these idiots thinking? Sarutobi Hiruzen was so angry that he almost vomited blood. This was completely different from what he imagined. The third-generation Raikage died at the hands of the Hidden Cloud Village ninja. According to normal logic, shouldn't you, the Hidden Cloud Village, seek revenge on the Hidden Cloud Village? Why did you attack Konoha? Do you think he is easy to bully? Go, find Orochimaru. Yes, Sarutobi Hiruzen rubbed his swollen head, and a sense of powerlessness rose in his heart. The war with Sand Village was already enough to give him a headache, and now there is another Cloud Village. In the dark, there are Rock Village and Mist Village watching covetously. If the Ninja World War breaks out again, can Konoha still hold out under the siege of other villages like before? 3 days later, after receiving the order from Sarutobi Hiruzen, Uchiha Mirai set out for the battlefield of Cloud Village that day. During this period, Uchiha Tajima came to him specially, and even gave up part of the interests of the Uchiha clan to let Uchiha Mirai stay in the village. That condition, even Sarutobi Hiruzen was tempted. But Uchiha Mirai resolutely rejected such a request and insisted on going to the battlefield of Cloud Village. That positive look made Sarutobi Hiruzen more confident in his plan. That's a meat grinder that can kill you if you're not careful. No matter what kind of ninja, they won't want to go to the battlefield to seek excitement. But, a genius from a wealthy ninja clan, with the strong support of his family behind him, actually resolutely chose to go to the battlefield. Isn't this the manifestation of inheriting the will of fire? Fortunately, he didn't listen to Danzo's advice at the beginning, otherwise such a good seedling would be wasted. Sarutobi Hiruzen believes that Uchiha Mirai, who has this kind of awareness, will definitely become a sharp blade in his hand that can stab the Uchiha clan at any time. For Sarutobi Hiruzen, who is gradually becoming a genius, Uchiha Mirai naturally doesn't know what the other party thinks. With his current strength, he doesn't need to care about the thoughts of Sarutobi Hiruzen, Shimura Danzo and others. If he is annoyed, the worst thing is to tear his face in advance. There is only one reason why he wants to go to the battlefield, that is, to plunder rewards by killing enemies. After 2 days of traveling at full speed, Uchiha Mirai saw Orochimaru, the commander-in-chief, at the base camp. Seeing Uchiha Mirai, Orochimaru did not hide the interest in his eyes. If Uchiha Mirai did not know that Orochimaru was interested in his body, he would really think that this guy had some special fetish. Mirai-kun, I have heard of your name for a long time. It's the first time I see you today. Nice to meet you. Orochimaru extended his slightly pale right hand to Uchiha Mirai. Nice to meet you. I wonder what the situation is on the front line now. Uchiha Mirai smiled and did not shake hands with Orochimaru. Orochimaru was not angry, but took out a map and began to explain. The Hidden Cloud Village, there are more ninjas than us, but the overall strength of the ninjas is not as good as that of our village's ninjas. Quote, except for the fact that we were caught off guard by the enemy's sneak attack at the beginning, the situation has gradually stabilized now. But, in terms of high-end combat power, there is a big gap between us and the Hidden Cloud Village. Speaking of this, Orochimaru sighed. Especially I and Killer Bee, the two have been attacking Konoha's ninjas everywhere, causing heavy casualties. And they have never fought Konoha head-on, and they always ran away after fighting. Even if he was ambushed occasionally, he could not do anything to those two guys by himself. Mirai-kun, do you have any good ideas for this? Orochimaru looked at Uchiha Mirai and asked. He has always been very stubborn, but for some reason, he really wants to hear the ideas of the young man in front of him. Facing the questions thrown by Orochimaru, Uchiha Mirai said lightly, it is not as difficult to solve this matter as imagined. Oh, quote, Orochimaru was a little surprised. Could it be that this recognized genius boy really has a good idea? Looking at Orochimaru's curious eyes, Uchiha Mirai smiled slightly. It's very simple, as long as we kill more people than them. Hearing Uchiha Mirai's words, Orochimaru's eyes lit up. He had never thought of this idea before. In terms of comprehensive strength, the Hidden Cloud Village is much worse than Konoha. If they kill each other's bottom ninjas, it will be the Hidden Cloud Village that will have a headache. Mirai-kun, it seems that you are able to be sent to help when other companions can only perform tasks such as escorting supplies. You really have extraordinary strengths. Quote, then, I will assign 2 Jonin to form a surprise attack team with you later, and you will be responsible for the task of clearing the Hidden Cloud Village Genin and Chunin teams. Quote, hearing Orochimaru's words, Uchiha Mirai shook his head. No, I prefer to perform tasks alone. Quote, okay, but be careful. Quote, Orochimaru didn't say much, but waved to Uchiha Mirai. Mirai, you should go and have a rest first. As a commander, he had to formulate the task as soon as possible. If he could accumulate enough reputation on this battlefield, there would be no obstacles on his way to becoming Hokage. At that time, he would have enough rights to experiment with everything he wanted. The border of the Land of Fire. Uchiha Mirai shuttled quickly through the dense forest. After arriving at a place far away from the Konoha headquarters, Uchiha Mirai closed his eyes silently. Kagura Hard Eye. As his perception was released, countless red dots appeared in Uchiha Mirai's mind. Each red dot represented a ninja. Let's start cleaning up from the nearest one. Uchiha Mirai opened his eyes and his figure quickly disappeared from the spot. It has been a week since he came to the front line. During this week, Orochimaru listened to Uchiha Mirai's advice and began to send various surprise attack teams to continuously attack the ninjas of the Hidden Cloud Village, and achieved very good results. Uchiha Mirai also killed many ninjas of the Hidden Cloud Village during this period and plundered a lot of rewards. After all, with Kagura's hard eye, he is like a god's perspective. No matter what kind of disguise the Cloud Ninja made, he could not escape his perception. Moreover, because Kagura's mind's eye can sense up to 10 kilometers, the perception ninjas of the Hidden Cloud Village could not find his whereabouts. It can be said that this battlefield has become a back garden for him to wander around. Hurry up and explore this area, and then we will retreat. A burly Cloud Ninja urged. Got it, we don't want to waste time. Another Cloud Ninja sighed. Recently, the border war has become more and more tense, and many teams that went out to collect intelligence have inexplicably lost their tracks. Even several Jonin have disappeared. In this case, the intelligence collecting team has been replaced by Chunin and Jonin from the original Genin and Chunin. Their team is composed of 1 Jonin and 2 elite Chunin. But even so, there are still many casualties in the village every day. In this case, staying outside for 1 more second means 1 more point of danger. Just after the 3 checked a part of the area, a black figure suddenly rushed towards them. Enemy attack. The ninjas of the Hidden Cloud village immediately took out their weapons and got into fighting posture. When they saw that the enemy coming was only a teenager, the 3 cloud ninjas looked at each other and rushed towards the teenager at the same time. On the battlefield, they would not underestimate any opponent. But before they could move, the 3 cloud ninjas felt that their bodies were out of control. Looking down, they found that the shadows under their feet had been connected to a group of shadows without knowing when. The next second, a large amount of golden sand swallowed their bodies. Sand waterfall funeral. Puff. Except for the senior ninja who used the secret technique to break free from the shadow binding technique at the last moment, the other 2 cloud ninjas were directly squeezed into a pool of meat paste. Magnetic escape bloodline limit. Is it Rasa from the Hidden Sand Village? The senior ninjas of the Hidden Cloud Village retreated quickly, their eyes full of horror. This iconic blood limit is easy to recognize. In the ninja world, no one except Rasa has the ability to control gold sand. But he couldn't figure out why Rasa would come all the way from Sand Village to attack them. Judging from the current situation, they should have the same goal as the Cloud Village and the Sand Village, right? Looking back, the chasing boy had a blank expression on his face, his eyes were full of indifference, and at the same time, a kunai was thrown from the other party's hand and flew towards him at a high speed. Whoosh! The Cloud Village Jonin dodged sideways, and the kunai flew past him. He increased his speed to the extreme. It is suspected that Rasa from Sand Village appeared nearby and attacked them. Such important information, he must pass it back to the village. But what he didn't expect was that the boy who was dozens of meters away from him suddenly appeared in front of him. Rasengan. Ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward, Chakra +1. Ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward, Constitution +1. Ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward, Thunder Blade Technique Falling Thunder. Listening to the system's prompt, the black-haired boy directly performed fire release and burned the bodies of the 3 cloud ninjas clean. Then, he rushed to the next target without stopping. The killing continued until the sun set. In just 1 day, Uchiha Mirai eliminated more than a dozen ninja teams. There were more than 30 cloud ninjas who died in his hands. This was because the ninjas of the Hidden Cloud Village were too scattered, otherwise there would definitely be many more ninjas who died in his hands. Kagura's Heart's Eye, Flying Thunder God Technique, Rasengan, Shadow Binding Technique, Chidori, Magnetic Release Bloodline Limit. With all kinds of powerful trump cards working together, Uchiha Mirai is like a killing god, slicing melons and vegetables all the way. Even Elite Jonin can't stop him in the face of his endless combo skills. Let's stop here today. Looking at the skyrocketing attribute panel, Uchiha Mirai left in the direction of Konoha's base camp with satisfaction. These days, the income from attribute points alone has been close to 300 points. Even he himself feels that this growth rate is a bit outrageous. If it weren't for killing enemies on the battlefield, it would take him a year to collect these attribute points based on battle rewards. The Hidden Cloud Village. Crack. With a roar, the huge solid wood desk instantly broke into pieces. I was wrapped in arcs, and the murderous intent on his body filled the entire room. What the hell is going on? Why did we lose so many ninjas? Didn't you collect any useful intelligence? Originally, with his and Killer Bee's participation, the war went smoothly. Konoha was losing ground in order to guard against their surprise attack. But since a few days ago, their ninjas have been missing. Until now, there have been 20 Jonin lost. There are countless Genin and Chunin. If this continues, they might as well surrender. Lord Konoha is likely to have adopted the same countermeasures as us, choosing to set up a surprise attack team to specifically attack the ninja team we sent out to collect intelligence. That's why the current situation has occurred. Ma Buyi analyzed calmly. When I was furious, she was the only one who dared to speak up. Of course I know this. What I'm wondering now is, why can they do this? Even if the other party adopts the same strategy as him, it is not an easy task to find their ninjas along the long border. There is only one possibility that can cause them such heavy casualties. Konoha knows the location of their ninja team very well. This is also something I can't figure out. Ma Bui frowned. Except for her as the commander-in-chief, even I and Killer Bee are not very clear about the location and mission of each ninja team in the Hidden Cloud Village. In this case, how can Konoha accurately ambush their team? No matter what, shrink the ninjas and launch a general attack on Konoha after preparation. Hearing Ai's words, Ma Bui nodded. The Hidden Cloud Village can't afford to waste time. Since the previous strategy has been cracked by Konoha, if you want to win this war, you have to fight quickly. Late at night, Uchiha Mirai rushed to the Konoha camp with some disappointment. All day today, he did not find a suitable Kumogakur ninja team to attack. Those militants seemed to have all retreated back to the camp. Did we go too far during this period? Uchiha Mirai silently reflected. There may be too many Kumogakur ninjas who died in his hands during this period, so before the Kumogakur ninjas come up with a countermeasure, it is very likely that they will not continue to send ninja teams to harass Konoha as before. After all, dozens of ninjas are lost every day, including some senior ninjas. Such a loss, no ninja village can afford it. Just as Uchiha Mirai was thinking, dozens of poisonous snakes quickly entangled his body, opened their mouths and bit him hard. Quack, 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 Uchiha Mirai's body turned into dozens of crows and scattered. At the same time, a huge fireball fell from the sky and swallowed all the poisonous snakes. Smelling the meaty aroma gradually wafting in the air, Uchiha Mirai looked at the dense forest beside him. Orochimaru, come out. As expected of Mirai-kun, you are really sharp. Orochimaru smiled and walked out of the shadows. Under the moonlight, his extremely fair face revealed an undisguised killing intent. What do you want to do? Looking at Orochimaru, Uchiha Mirai asked lightly. I just want to ask Mirai-kun a question. Seeing that Uchiha Mirai was not affected at all, Orochimaru also put away his killing intent. According to my intelligence, the ninjas of the Hidden Cloud Village have suffered heavy losses these days, and are now even retreating. But I have investigated other surprise attack teams that have been sent out. Although they have achieved certain results, they have killed less than 100 people in total. Such losses are negligible for the Hidden Cloud Village, and it is unlikely that a guy like I will make such a decision now. Orochimaru spoke out his analysis bit by bit. I think about it, the only possible change is to you, Mirai-kun. Uchiha Mirai raised his eyebrows. So, a gleam of light flashed in Orochimaru's weird vertical pupils. So let me see how you, Mirai-kun, did this. Shadow Snake Hand. Orochimaru's arms turned into dozens of poisonous snakes, opening their bloody mouths and rushing towards Uchiha Mirai. Wind Style. Wind Cutting Technique. The sharp wind blade split all the poisonous tongues in half. Then, Uchiha Mirai kept making seals with both hands. Fire Style. Great Fire Extinguishment. Wind Style. Great Breakthrough. The sea of fire engulfed everything in front of him, and Uchiha Mirai quickly retreated. Where he was standing, Orochimaru rushed out from the ground with the Kusanagi sword in his mouth. Clang! Uchiha Mirai drew his sword to block Orochimaru's attack, and the two soon tangled together. Mirai-kun, you really surprise me more and more. Orochimaru looked at the Scarlet 3 Magatama Sharingan in Uchiha Mirai's eyes, and his face was full of curiosity. Whether it was ninjutsu or taijutsu, the boy in front of him had an outstanding performance, and he was not inferior even when facing him. Such a thing, can a boy who just graduated from the ninja school for a year really do it? Recalling the scene when he first met Uchiha Mirai, Orochimaru couldn't help but sigh. Although Uchiha Mirai defeated Hitaki Kakashi at that time, he was still very immature in his eyes. I didn't expect that in just 1 year, the opponent has grown to this point. Orochimaru, let's stop here today. Uchiha Mirai waved his sword to force Orochimaru back. There is no point in continuing to fight. Hearing Uchiha Mirai's words, Orochimaru licked his lips with his tongue. Mirai-kun, do you mean that my strength is not even qualified for you to use your trump card? I'm really underestimated. As the apprentice of the third generation Hokage, Orochimaru has not been spoken to like this for a long time since he made his name. 10,000 snakes. Orochimaru lay on the ground, and thousands of poisonous snakes crawled out of his mouth, and soon surrounded Uchiha Mirai within a few dozen meters. Mirai-kun, each of these poisonous snakes is extremely poisonous, and being bitten may very likely lose your life. Whether you can survive depends on your own ability. As soon as Orochimaru finished speaking, the poisonous snakes on the ground immediately pounced on Uchiha Mirai at the same time. Knowing that Orochimaru character, if he is not taught a profound lesson, the other party will not give up easily. Uchiha Mirai snorted lightly, and at the last moment, he threw the long sword in his hand towards Orochimaru. Is it just this extent? Looking at the attacking long sword, Orochimaru dodged it easily. Originally thought that Uchiha Mirai had some unknown cards, but unexpectedly, at the critical moment of life and death, he could not even make a decent attack. Orochimaru shook his head in disappointment and untied the spiritual summoning of the 10,000 snakes. But the next second, the pupils in Orochimaru's eyes suddenly shrank. Uchiha Mirai, who was supposed to be lying on the ground dying and waiting for his treatment, disappeared. A huge sense of crisis rose from the bottom of his heart. The intuition of hovering on the edge of life and death many times made Orochimaru sense the breath of death. Rasengan. Boom. Orochimaru's body was knocked out, breaking several giant trees and then falling heavily to the ground. It was a close call, I almost died. The new body crawled out of his mouth, and Orochimaru looked at Uchiha Mirai in front of him with lingering fear. If he hadn't used the Great Snake-style substitution technique at the last moment, the attack just now would have killed him on the spot. But, how did Uchiha Mirai, who should have been swallowed by the 10,000 snakes, appear behind him silently? Orochimaru's eyes unconsciously looked at the long knife stuck in the tree trunk where he was just now, and the expression on his face gradually became shocked. Could it be Chidori? Puff! A mouthful of blood spurted out, and Orochimaru looked at the heart pierced by Uchiha Mirai in disbelief. As a disciple of Sarutobi Hiruzen, Orochimaru was no stranger to the various forbidden techniques of Konoha. Uchiha Mirai was definitely using the Flying Thunder God technique. Only this kind of space movement can evade his perception and appear beside him without any warning. But, Orochimaru did not think about why Uchiha Mirai could master the forbidden technique of Flying Thunder God technique sealed in the Book of Seals, but was thinking about another question. If Uchiha Mirai used his weapon, the long sword, as a medium for the first time to perform the Flying Thunder God technique, how did he suddenly appear beside him this time? Orochimaru, you have seen my trump card. As for whether you can survive, it depends on your own ability. Chapter 51. Uchiha Mirai did not choose to kill Orochimaru. It would be a pity if such a mad scientist died here. What's more, with Orochimaru's endless means of saving his life, he didn't believe that the other party would be killed so easily. Mirai-kun, you really surprised me. Just as Uchiha Mirai thought, Orochimaru shed another layer of snake skin and crawled out of his original body panting. Although he looked a little embarrassed, there was no sign of injury on his body. However, although the Orochimaru substitute technique can block all the damage, it consumes a lot of chakra. After performing it twice in a row, even Orochimaru felt a little tired. But compared with the physical fatigue, Uchiha Mirai's performance today shocked him even more. Not only was he able to hold his own in the battle of physical skills and swordsmanship, he also mastered the Flying Thunder God technique and Rasengan. Orochimaru could understand that Uchiha Mirai could use the Rasengan. It was no secret that the other party had close contacts with Minato Namikaze. But when Uchiha Mirai used the Flying Thunder God technique, Orochimaru could not understand it at all. This was a forbidden technique in the Book of Seals. Without the permission of the Hokage, other ninjas would never have the opportunity to practice it. What kind of deal did Uchiha Mirai reach with Minato Namikaze that would make the other party risk being labeled a traitor and teach him the Flying Thunder God technique? Looking at Orochimaru's puzzled eyes, Uchiha Mirai naturally would not explain anything. He put away the long sword, looked at Orochimaru and slowly said, "Orochimaru, let's make a deal." "What deal?" Orochimaru asked in confusion. "When I take control of Konoha village, you come to help me, and I will provide you with all the resources you want." Hearing Uchiha Mirai's words, Orochimaru was stunned. "Mirai-kun, do you know what you are saying?" Uchiha Mirai chuckled and said, "You don't believe what I said." Orochimaru remained silent. The ninjas of the Uchiha clan are indeed a bunch of lunatics. He admitted that Uchiha Mirai was very strong, but that was all. If he hadn't expected that the other party had mastered the Flying Thunder God technique, he would never have been defeated so easily in today's battle. And, no matter how strong a person is, he will appear very small when facing a behemoth like a village. Control the entire village. What a joke. Even if he has the title of a disciple of the Hokage and has worked in Konoha for decades, he dare not say such a thing. And, Orochimaru set his sights on Uchiha Mirai. Mirai-kun, have you forgotten that I will be the next Hokage? Did you make a mistake in the transaction? Orochimaru reminded. If Uchiha Mirai wants to control the entire village, he will inevitably stand on the opposite side of him. How can the two of them cooperate? Hearing Orochimaru's words, Uchiha Mirai couldn't help laughing. Orochimaru, you can't be Hokage. Oh, Orochimaru raised his eyebrows, and a dangerous aura appeared on his body again. Mirai-kun, what do you mean by this? Is there a more suitable candidate for Hokage in the village than me? Hearing Orochimaru's question, Uchiha Mirai said calmly, you should know Shimura Danzo's ambition, right? He will definitely spread the things you did during the election of Hokage. Just the fact that you secretly conducted human experiments is enough to make you unable to turn over. Orochimaru's pupils shrank, and the smile on his face became stiff. Mirai-kun, I really underestimated you. You even knew about this kind of thing. However, with my prestige in the village, even if Shimura Danzo did this kind of trick, it would not affect the outcome of the matter. Orochimaru said confidently. He has always been very careful. When conducting human experiments, they were all conducted at the experimental base of root, and he never left any handle. Moreover, after the Second Ninja World War and the reputation he has accumulated over such a long time, there are countless ninjas who support him. It is not so easy for Shimura Danzo to destroy his reputation by rumors. Of course it won't work if it's just Shimura Danzo, but what if the third Hokage is also secretly adding fuel to the flames? Hearing Uchiha Mirai's words, Orochimaru's face finally became ugly. What do you want to say? Orochimaru, you think that with your current prestige and power, you can help you win the election for Hokage, but in fact, it is the opposite. It means that you will be difficult to control. Uchiha Mirai said indifferently. He said calmly, you have completely lost the appearance of a civilian ninja. Sarutobi Hiruzen will not let you go on stage. My eyes have seen your future. Looking at the Scarlet 3 Magatama Sharingan, Orochimaru was a little dazed for a while. As a disciple of Sarutobi Hiruzen and having served under him for so many years, he still knows his teacher very well. After thinking carefully, Orochimaru felt that what Uchiha Mirai said was not impossible to happen. What do you think? Do you want to agree to my conditions? After giving Orochimaru some time to think, Uchiha Mirai spoke again. You don't need to pay anything, you just need to give me a promise. Orochimaru suddenly smiled. Mirai-kun, you really make me look at you in a new light. I was almost persuaded by you. Seeing Orochimaru's look, Uchiha Mirai shrugged. Forget it if you don't believe it, time will tell us the answer. One day you will see me standing on the throne. Listening to Uchiha Mirai's confident speech, Uchiha Mirai snake pills put away their smiles, stood up from the ground, and looked meaningfully. Mirai-kun, aren't you afraid that I will tell others about your affairs? Hokage is my teacher. Hearing this, Uchiha Mirai smiled. I know, I have to pay more. Quote. Just kidding. Since I will tell you these things, I am naturally not afraid that you will go out and talk nonsense. Uchiha Mirai waved his hand and walked towards the camp. My conditions have not changed, you can come to me at any time. After he left, Orochimaru felt an inexplicable emotion in his heart. Since he could remember, he had never encountered a situation like today. In front of Uchiha Mirai, he seemed to be seen through everything. Could it be that things will really develop as Uchiha Mirai said? After a while, Orochimaru adjusted his mentality, smiled again on his face, and murmured in a low voice, Mirai-kun, since you are so sure, let's wait and see. I will definitely find out what secrets you have. Panel. Uchiha Mirai's mind moved, and a translucent light screen appeared in front of him. Name: Uchiha Mirai. Physique: 315. Spiritual power: 302. Chakra: 311. Bloodline limit: Sharingan, magnetic release, gold dust. Ninjutsu: Others. Looking at the attribute points that have all exceeded 300, Uchiha Mirai's mouth curled up slightly. In just half a month, the attribute points he plundered increased by more than 300 points. Coupled with the improvement of the Uzumaki sage's body, his physical indicators have now reached a terrifying level. Even compared with the wreckage of the Hidden Cloud Village, his physical fitness is not much worse. Even, in terms of chakra and mental power, he is even stronger. You know, his current body is far from growing to its peak state. If he is given some more time, and his Uzumaki sage body is fully developed, plus the attribute points plundered during this period, Uchiha Mirai dare not imagine how strong his body can be. Mirai-sama, Lord Orochimaru asks you to come over. Got it. Following the ninja outside the door to Orochimaru's tent, Uchiha Mirai walked in alone. The two looked at each other, and tacitly did not mention what happened a few days ago. Orochimaru, is there anything you want me to do this time? Uchiha Mirai asked. Orochimaru showed a sick smile on his face. Mirai-sama, according to the intelligence, a large number of ninja troops from the Hidden Cloud Village are stationed in the territory of the Land of Soup and the Land of Sound, and our bases in the two countries have all been occupied. They seem to be planning to go to war with us. The Land of Soup and the Land of Field are two countries located between the Land of Thunder and the Land of Fire. As a country without even a ninja village, every time the ninja world is in turmoil, these small countries will become the main battlefield for the confrontation between the big countries, in order to prevent the war from spreading to the big country's homeland. This can also be regarded as a tacit understanding between the big countries. The weak will be beaten, which is vividly reflected in this turbulent ninja world. Now the ninjas of the Hidden Cloud Village have completely removed all the strongholds of Konoha in the Land of Fields and the Land of Hot Springs, and the next step is likely to be a full-scale invasion of the Land of Fire. In order to prevent the Land of Fire from being affected by the war, they must take the initiative to attack and drive the ninjas of the Hidden Cloud Village out of the border between the two countries. What is your plan? Uchiha Mirai sat in his seat, looking at Orochimaru and spoke quietly. Orochimaru came to him, and he must have had some plan. Mirai-kun, I just hope you can help me at a critical moment, that's all. After knowing Uchiha Mirai's strength, Orochimaru put him on an equal footing with himself. So his tone was more of a request, not an order. Okay. Just do it boldly, I will take action at the right time. Seeing Uchiha Mirai agree directly, Orochimaru was relieved. If Uchiha Mirai chose to take action, he would not be afraid of I and Killer Bee joining forces to attack him. When will we act? Tonight. Late at night. The heavy dark clouds blocked all the moonlight, and the ground was dark without any light. Uchiha Mirai opened the 3 Magatama Sharingan and sneaked quickly in the darkness. All the secret guards of the Hidden Cloud Village were killed in one blow wherever he passed. Fast, accurate, and ruthless. Under the super perception of Kagura's hard eye, Konoha's ninja troops were getting closer and closer to the camp of the Hidden Cloud Village. When the distance between the two sides was less than 1 kilometer, the camp of the Hidden Cloud Village was suddenly brightly lit. Then there was a commotion. Seeing this, Orochimaru took out a flare from his arms and fired it into the sky. Bang! Dazzling fireworks illuminated the surroundings, and the ninjas of Konoha Village launched a charge at the same time. Kill! The shouts of killing resounded through the sky. For ninjas, a distance of 1 kilometer was just a distance that could be crossed in the blink of an eye. The Hidden Cloud Village was caught off guard, and the formation in front was instantly disrupted by the Konoha ninjas. In just a moment, the ninjas of the Hidden Cloud Village suffered heavy casualties. However, as one of the 5 major ninja villages, the quality of the ninjas of the Hidden Cloud Village is still very good. After sacrificing a certain number of ninjas, they gradually stabilized the formation. It's that group of Konoha ninjas, kill them. Enemy attack. Don't sleep. Get up quickly to meet the enemy. You rats who only know how to sneak attack, taste the power of this uncle. As the Hidden Cloud Village ninjas deployed their formations, the two sides fought together, and the war officially began. Bang! On a small hill not far away, Orochimaru looked at the ninjas who were already fighting, and his face was serious. Mirai-kun, it's time for us to take action. Got it. I will act according to the plan. Uchiha Mirai said lightly. Seeing this, Orochimaru bit his finger, summoning technique. Boom! A huge snake with purple stripes all over its body appeared at Orochimaru's feet. Orochimaru, why are you looking for me so late at night? Wan Shi roared angrily, believe it or not, I will eat you. Facing the irritable Wan Shi, Orochimaru was accustomed to it. After this time, I will help you get more sacrifices. That's better. After hearing what Orochimaru said, Wan Shi snorted, how to fight? Go to the battlefield in front, break up the formation of those ninjas from the hidden cloud village, and kill as many enemies as possible. Looking in the direction pointed by Orochimaru, Wan Shi sneered, tell your guys to stay away from me, I don't have the heart to distinguish these bugs. Got it, you take us there first. After hearing what Orochimaru said, Wan Shi realized that there seemed to be more than one person on his head. Orochimaru, who is the other kid? Do you think anyone can step on my head? Wan Shi roared unhappily. Suddenly, he felt a pain on his head, and then he saw a boy with long black hair appear in front of him. The boy's eyes were blood red, and cold and ominous pupil power continued to radiate from the other's eyes. Looking at Wan Shi, the boy said coldly, Wan Shi, you are making me a little upset. Uchiha's eyes. Seeing the boy's eyes, Wan Shi felt a thorn in his back. The sensitive intuition told it that it was best not to provoke the boy in front of it. Making a decision in an instant in his mind, Wan Shi decided to hold back first. Without saying a word, Wan Shi twisted his huge body and crawled towards the place where the hidden cloud village was located. Seeing this scene, Orochimaru was stunned. He knew Wan Shi's temper very well. Even if he faced him, he would fight with him if he disagreed. But now his head was pierced by Uchiha Mirai, and he didn't react at all. There is only one possibility for this situation. In Manshi's perception, Uchiha Mirai is much more dangerous than him. Could it be that, when Uchiha Mirai fought him that day, he was far from using his full strength? How did this kid get such a strong power in such a short time? The summoned beast like Manshi joined the battlefield, which immediately caused great casualties to the ninjas of the hidden cloud village. The attacks released by those ordinary genin and chunin hit Manshi like tickling. Oh, leave first. Seeing that the formation of the hidden cloud village had been disrupted by Manshi, Uchiha Mirai no longer hesitated and used the instant body technique to disappear from the top of Manshi. Seeing Uchiha Mirai suddenly appear, the ninjas of the hidden cloud village were first startled, and then surrounded Uchiha Mirai. Arrogant Konoha brat, you dare to come here, are you looking down on your cloud ninja grandfather? Asshole, kill him. It turned out to be a ninja from the Uchiha clan, ha 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 ha. What a merit that came to our door. Dig out his eyes, and we will have Sharingan in the future. Listening to the arrogant voice of the cloud ninja, Uchiha Mirai raised his hand and broke the neck of a cloud ninja, with a look of contempt on his face. Do you want to dance too? The three Magatama Sharingan turned rapidly, and Uchiha Mirai was like an elegant dancer, dancing in the encirclement of the cloud ninja. Every time he made a move, he could accurately harvest the life of a cloud ninja. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward, Chakra +1. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward, Mental Power +1. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward, Constitution +1. Opening square bracket comma closing square bracket. Too slow. Listening to the prompt of the system in his mind, Uchiha Mirai snorted in dissatisfaction. It's not easy to have such an opportunity. If you can only harvest rewards at this efficiency, it would be a bit too wasteful. The next second, Uchiha Mirai's hands quickly formed seals. Multiple shadow clone technique. Bang! A series of white mists dissipated, and Uchiha Mirai and a dozen shadow clones formed a circle and began to form seals at the same time. Fire style. Great fire extinguishment. Wind style. Great breakthrough. Under the blessing of the wind style ninjutsu, the flames turned into a sea of fire that swallowed everything in all directions. A large number of screams sounded, and a smell of burnt fragrance filled the air. At the same time, the prompt of the system kept ringing in Uchiha Mirai's mind. This efficiency is reasonable. Uchiha Mirai smiled with satisfaction. But in the eyes of the ninjas of the hidden cloud village, his smile was like a demon from hell, full of madness and killing. Don't be afraid. No matter how strong he is, he can't be the opponent of so many of us. Just hold on, this kid will eventually run out of chakra. A commander-like Cloud Ninja shouted. As soon as he finished speaking, his heart was pierced by Uchiha Mirai. Your idea is good, but unfortunately, you will never see that moment. Just then, a blue lightning flashed through the darkness. Then, a huge monster with a cow's head and an octopus body quickly rushed towards Manshi. Orochimaru, you fool, tonight is your death. Brother is right, Konoha will be repelled by us. Maybe it will be a little tired tonight, but not working hard may be considered a crime. Bye, shut up. Boom. I and the completely tailed beast Killer Bee rushed towards Orochimaru and Manshi respectively. With the addition of the two of them, the hidden cloud village finally stopped the one-sided decline. On the contrary, Orochimaru and Manja were forced to retreat step by step. After just a glance, Uchiha Mirai retracted his gaze and began to concentrate on harvesting the lives of the surrounding ninjas. Perhaps because Orochimaru and Manja were delayed, the elite ninjas of the hidden cloud village began to gather towards him. Ha 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 ha, Lord I and Lord Killer Bee are here to support us. Konoha village will definitely lose. Kill this arrogant Uchiha kid. You killed so many of our companions. Don't even think about escaping today. Go to hell. Although these elite ninjas did not put any pressure on Uchiha Mirai, they greatly reduced his efficiency in killing enemies. Uchiha Mirai simply did not continue to fight with them, but directly moved to another place through the Flying Thunder God technique. What's going on? Why did this guy suddenly appear here? At present, when the Flying Thunder God technique has not yet shined, few people in the ninja world know the power of the Flying Thunder God technique. In the eyes of these cloud ninjas, Uchiha Mirai is like a ghost. Every time when they are surrounded, they can appear out of thin air in the weakest places. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward. A large number of ordinary cloud ninjas died in the hands of Uchiha Mirai. Those elite cloud ninjas were so angry that their teeth were about to break. Every time they were about to surround Uchiha Mirai would appear in another place. They ran around several times in a row, but it didn't work. Instead, they were exhausted. Seeing this scene, Uchiha Mirai gradually became excited. A war was turned into a mowing game by him. The rapidly rising attribute points kept his body in peak condition. If he was given a certain amount of time, Uchiha Mirai even felt that he could kill all the tens of thousands of cloud ninjas present by himself. As the casualties increased, finally, the cloud ninjas near Uchiha Mirai collapsed. After countless attempts and hundreds of lives, they were sure of one thing. If they continued to fight, everyone would die in the hands of this Uchiha demon. Then, a magical scene appeared. Uchiha Mirai, who was soaked in blood and looked like a devil escaping from hell, chased thousands of cloud ninjas and fled everywhere. In front of him, all these militants had thrown away their weapons. They now had only one thought in their minds: escape. Only by running fast enough and far enough can they hope to survive from the devil. Their collapse caused a series of reactions. Those cloud ninjas who did not know the truth saw their companions desperately running away, and in order not to be trampled and crushed, they could only turn around and run away. This scene stunned the ninjas of Konoha. What's going on? The ninjas of the hidden cloud village were actually killed by Uchiha Mirai alone. Boom! The huge body of the snake was slapped away again, dragging a deep gully on the ground. Orochimaru, I have tried my best, remember your promise. If the sacrifice does not satisfy me, you will die. After saying this, the snake turned into a ball of white mist and dissipated on the spot. Orochimaru was also knocked out by Ai's punch. What on earth is this guy, Mirai, doing? Orochimaru panted, his chest rose and fell violently, and he almost couldn't help cursing. According to the original plan, after Rai and Killer Bee appeared, Uchiha Mirai should be the first to fight against the brothers with him. But until now, he has not even seen the shadow of Uchiha Mirai. Now Wanshi has taken the initiative to cancel the summoning technique. He alone can't resist the joint attack of two top shadow-level strongmen. Can I only retreat first? Orochimaru was a little unwilling, but he had no choice. If he faced Ai and Killer Bee alone in his current state, he would most likely die here. But when Orochimaru was about to send a signal to retreat, Ai, who had been pestering him, suddenly turned into a thunderbolt and rushed in another direction. Orochimaru looked at the battlefield in astonishment, and he realized that the ninjas of the Hidden Cloud village had collapsed at some point. A blood-soaked figure was following the group of Kumo ninjas, harvesting lives one after another. Orochimaru opened his mouth in disbelief, with a look of shock on his face. During the time when he was fighting I and Killer Bee, Mirai Kunalone broke down the Kumo village's ninja army. Puff! After piercing a cloud ninja's heart with a knife, Uchiha Mirai's mind sounded the system prompt again. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward, Constitution +1. Uchiha Mirai's mind moved, and a translucent sky blue panel appeared in front of him. Name: Uchiha Mirai. Constitution: 515. Spiritual power: 462. Chakra: 461. Opening square bracket comma closing square bracket. Looking at his three-dimensional attributes on the panel, Uchiha Mirai's face was full of excitement. In just one night, his attributes have skyrocketed by nearly 600 points. Among them, the Constitution attribute has even broken through the 500 mark. The surge in power made Uchiha Mirai a little dazed, and he even had the illusion that he could blow up the ninja world with one punch. In addition, Uchiha Mirai could feel that his 3 Magatama Sharingan had also undergone great changes. The feeling of sourness, swelling and numbness has lasted for a long time, and at the same time, the pupil power has also ushered in a huge improvement. Uchiha Mirai has a hunch that it won't be long before his 3 Magatama Sharingan will evolve again. Uchiha Mirai knows very well that if the 3 Magatama Sharingan evolves again, it will be the Mangekyo Sharingan. When he thinks of the strange and powerful pupil techniques of the Mangekyo Sharingan, Uchiha Mirai can't help but yearn for it. Tsukuyomi, Amaterasu, Koto Amatsukami, Kagutsuchi, Kamui. If he awakens the Mangekyo Sharingan, what pupil techniques will he get? As for chakra, there is no need to say more. Even if he wants to go the route of humanoid self-propelled machine gun, he will not worry about lack of chakra. Thinking of the humanoid self-propelled machine gun, Uchiha Mirai touched his nose. With his current reserve of ninjutsu, even a famous technician in the original work can't be compared with him at all. If he wanted to take the route of continuously releasing ninjutsu to bombard the enemy, it would not be a big problem. After just thinking about it, Uchiha Mirai decisively gave up this idea. If he kept releasing ninjutsu, his hands would probably be disabled in a short time. Unless he could call whatever he wanted, like Hashirama Senju in the future, he would not try this fighting method. Sure enough, such a large battlefield is the most suitable place for me. But I guess I need to take a good rest for a while after this time to adjust my mentality and adapt to the surge in power. After feeling the harvest tonight, Uchiha Mirai murmured to himself. Although his system is a killing-type plugin, he does not want to become a ruthless killing machine. If he does not adjust his mentality in time after killing so many people, Uchiha Mirai is afraid that he will be indifferent and feel that he is not the same species as others. In that case, even if the entire ninja world surrenders to him, he may not feel much fun. This is not some kind of saintly heart at work, but once you are born as a human, once you lose your emotions, what is the difference between you and the Walking Dead? At this moment, a sonic boom sounded, and at the same time, an angry voice came from behind. Konoha kid, I will kill you. I was like a blue lightning, and instantly came to Uchiha Mirai. He raised his strong and powerful arms, clenched his fists and smashed towards Uchiha Mirai. In the ultra-long distance sprint, Ai's speed has reached the extreme. His attack, with the dual blessing of speed and strength, fell fiercely with thunder and power. Boom! With a loud bang, a powerful shock wave scattered. The earth kept shaking, and smoke and dust rose. But the next second, in the shocked eyes of everyone, Ai's body flew backwards like a cannonball, plowing a nearly 1,000-meter gully on the ground. How is it possible? Lord Ai was actually knocked away. Are you kidding? Lord Ai's fist can knock even the 8 tails away with one punch. I must have been hit by an illusion. With the frail body of that Konoha kid, it is absolutely impossible for him to do such a thing. The ninjas of the Hidden Cloud village exclaimed in unison. As the son of the third Raikage, they are very familiar with Ai's power. When the 8 tails went berserk, I was able to resist the 8 tails with his physical strength. Now he launched such a shocking attack, but was knocked away by the opponent in the blink of an eye. How could there be such a perverted guy in this world? Unlike the ninjas of the Hidden Cloud Village, the ninjas of Konoha were all smiling. When they saw I turn into thunder and attack Uchiha Mirai from behind, their hearts were filled with fear. All of them were so nervous that they were afraid that a genius ninja like Uchiha Mirai would die. But what no one expected was that I rushed over at such a fast speed and flew out at the same speed. This extremely fast reversal surprised many Konoha ninjas, and they all couldn't help but show joy on their faces. Ha 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 ha, it really made me laugh to death. That guy from the Hidden Cloud Village went to trouble Uchiha Mirai with great momentum. I really thought he was so strong. Idiot, I is the son of the third Hokage, the recognized candidate for the fourth Hokage, and his physical fitness is comparable to that of a monster with a tailed beast. Do you really think he is weak? I is so strong. How did Uchiha Mirai do what happened just now? I don't know, maybe he is stronger than I. Gurgle. Hearing this conclusion, the Konoha ninjas all looked at each other and couldn't help swallowing their saliva. Speaking of which, Uchiha Mirai was able to scare those brainless cloud ninjas into running away alone. That was really terrifying. Thinking back carefully, it seems that we were able to win so easily today because of Uchiha Mirai. Yes, fortunately he is a ninja on our side. If he was on the other side, I really can't imagine how things would develop. Just as everyone was talking about it, I struggled to stand up from the ground and reattached his dislocated arm with a click. His face was ugly, and his eyes were full of disbelief. Under the blessing of the lightning chakra mode, his physical fitness has reached an extremely terrifying level. He knew very well how terrifying his attack just now was. It is no exaggeration to say that even if Orochimaru wanted to take his punch, he would be beaten to pieces. But just now, he was punched so far by the little devil from Konoha. The most important thing is that I can feel that the kid just now did not use any secret techniques, and relied entirely on his own body's original strength when fighting him. How could someone in this world have such a perverted physical fitness? Is the other party a monster? Even if you are a monster, you killed so many ninjas in our village, I will make you pay the price. Full power lightning chakra mode. Ai's body was covered with lightning, and his hair stood up. The next second, I turned into a lightning again, clenched his fist and rushed towards the direction of Uchiha Mirai. Raito Ninja Yushu Tuli Sword. Looking at Ai who rushed in front of him in an instant, Uchiha Mirai threw a kunai lightly. For him who had extreme reaction nerves and 3 Magatama Sharingan, time seemed to be slowed down when he was fully focused. He could even see Ai's hideous face and the yellow teeth in his open mouth. Go to hell, Ai roared. But just when his fist was about to hit Uchiha Mirai's head, Uchiha Mirai suddenly disappeared. How could it be? Ai's attack missed, and his eyes immediately looked around, and then he found that Uchiha Mirai appeared behind him inexplicably. Looking at the long sword with wind chakra attached to it raised high by the other party, I was horrified. At this time, he was moving at high speed, and it was too late to avoid Uchiha Mirai's attack. He could only use his body's chakra to the fullest and twist his body desperately. Puff! The sharp blade penetrated his lightning release armor and cut off his left arm directly. Boom! I rushed out of the smoke and fell heavily to the ground. This scene made all the onlookers open their mouths in shock. No, what happened to Lord Ai's arm? I didn't see clearly what happened just now. Defeated. Lord Ai actually lost. Just 2 moves made Lord Ai so embarrassed. What kind of monster appeared in Konoha? The faces of the cloud ninjas were all panicked. When I rushed towards Uchiha Mirai, dust was splashed everywhere, so no one knew what happened specifically. Everyone only saw that in just a moment, after I passed through the smoke, one of his arms was missing. I, who was highly expected by them, fell here like this. Not only was he seriously injured, but he also lost an arm. Thinking of Uchiha Mirai's killing without blinking an eye, a chill rose from the hearts of the ninjas in the Hidden Cloud Village. After the death of the third Hokage, I was already the most powerful ninja in the Hidden Cloud Village. But the strongest ninja in their village now had one arm chopped off and was lying on the ground in a mess. He was just a kid who had not yet reached adulthood. How could he do such a thing? Brother! In the distance, after seeing Ai's miserable appearance, Killer Bee roared and opened his mouth to the sky. A tailed beast ball with a destructive aura gradually took shape above his head. Don't even think about it. Yakutsu. Orochimaru's expression turned cold and he formed seals with his hands. The next second, his body began to change constantly. In just a moment, he turned into a huge white snake comparable to the 8 tails. The 8-tails snake has 8 tails and 8 heads. The moment it appeared, it rushed towards the 8 tails. Boom! The two huge bodies collided with each other, and the ground began to shake violently. The tailed beast ball of the Ushiki also disappeared in midair due to Orochimaru's intervention. 8-tail, I'll use you to try out my newly researched forbidden technique. Orochimaru's cold voice sounded. He might not be a match for I and Killer Bee alone, but if there was only Killer Bee, he would not have much pressure. I struggled to get up and used chakra to stop the bleeding broken arm. He looked around and found that all the ninjas of the Hidden Cloud Village had lost their fighting spirit. In addition to his current injuries, there was no need to continue this war. Especially, Konoha now has an Uchiha who is so powerful that it makes people afraid. At this moment, a kunai suddenly flew out of the smoke and dust in front. Recalling the scene where Uchiha Mirai disappeared inexplicably and appeared inexplicably behind him, I felt a strong sense of crisis in his heart. Without any hesitation, Ai's figure turned into a flash of lightning and fled towards the direction of the land of lightning. Follow my orders, retreat. Bye, run. Ai's voice rang out on the battlefield, but his figure disappeared in an instant. The ninjas of the Hidden Cloud Village had been impatient for a long time. After hearing Ai's order, they threw all the shuriken and detonating tags in their ninja tool bags to the back. Boom, boom, boom. The explosion blocked the pursuit of the Konoha ninjas, and the ninjas of the Hidden Cloud Village successfully evacuated. Killer Bee also escaped from Orochimaru's entanglement by breaking his tail and quickly disappeared from the battlefield. We won, ha 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 ha. Those guys from the Hidden Cloud Village were scared out of their wits. It was so satisfying to see them running away. Ah. HMPH. Let's see if those brainless reckless men dare to provoke our Konoha in the future. Orochimaru untied the 8-headed technique and regained his human form. Looking at the fleeing backs of the Hidden Cloud Village ninja, he waved his hand and said, "Chase. Take down all the bases of the Hidden Cloud Village." Yes. Quote, under Orochimaru's command, the Konoha ninjas began to chase in the direction where the Kumogakur ninjas left. After everyone left, Orochimaru slowly walked to where Uchiha Mirai was. He looked at Uchiha Mirai with a complicated look. Although he had long known that the young man in front of him possessed a very terrifying power, the combat power displayed by Uchiha Mirai tonight still surprised him. Unlike other Konoha ninjas, he had fought with I personally. So he knew how powerful I was. It can be said that, even if you look at the entire ninja world, I's power is definitely a ceiling. Speed, strength, defense. No matter from which aspect, he can't find any shortcomings of the opponent. But that's it. A powerful ninja was crushed in just 2 short encounters with Uchiha Mirai. The first time they fought head-on, he was directly knocked away nearly 1,000 meters. The second time, he had an arm chopped off in the blink of an eye. Even he found it hard to accept for a while. Too strong. Uchiha Mirai is really too strong. This kind of strength has gradually exceeded his cognition. Orochimaru suddenly thought of what Uchiha Mirai had talked to him a few days ago. Orochimaru, who has always been very confident in himself, was a little panicked. Will things in the future really develop as this kid said? After a long silence, Orochimaru adjusted his emotions and looked at Uchiha Mirai and slowly said, "Mirai-kun, don't you want to follow and take a look?" "No need, I'm a little tired too." Quote, Uchiha Mirai shook his head lightly. He has not yet reached the state of ignoring attacks. If the remaining tens of thousands of ninjas from the Hidden Cloud Village counterattack before their death, he will not be able to bear it. What's more, today's harvest is enough. Looking at Uchiha Mirai's back as he left, Orochimaru stretched out his long tongue to wash his face. If one day things really develop as Uchiha Mirai said, then he should consider agreeing to Uchiha Mirai's solicitation. Perhaps, the goal he has been seeking, Uchiha Mirai may be able to help him achieve it. After the defeat of the Hidden Cloud Village, all of them retreated. The apparent reason was that I succeeded as the 4th generation Hokage, and all the ninjas of the Hidden Cloud Village had to participate. In fact, everyone knew that this was just a high-sounding excuse for their withdrawal after the defeat. After the ninjas of the Hidden Cloud Village withdrew, all the strongholds and industries in the Land of Hot Springs and the Land of Fields were naturally taken over by Konoha. Originally, Orochimaru planned to pursue the victory, but Sarutobi Hiruzen strictly prohibited him from making any unnecessary moves. Orochimaru could only follow Sarutobi Hiruzen's orders and withdraw the ninja troops. After a few days, the front line stabilized. On the border near the Land of Lightning, most of the ninjas received orders from the village to return to the village for rest. In the Konoha camp, Uchiha Mirai walked out of the room and slowly walked towards Orochimaru's tent. On the way, all the ninjas who saw him would bow respectfully and greet him. After the last war, Uchiha Mirai had established a great prestige in the hearts of these border ninjas. The genius boy in the eyes of everyone has completely transformed into a strong man who can stand on his own. Mirai-sama, Orochimaru is inside, please come in. Nodding lightly to the guard at the door, Uchiha Mirai walked in. Orochimaru heard the voice, looked up, and a smile appeared on his face. Mirai-sama, did it affect your rest? Nothing, what do you want to talk to me about? Uchiha Mirai waved his hand and asked directly. Nothing, but we are going back to the village today, so I told you in advance. Uchiha Mirai raised his eyebrows. What do you mean? I have reported all your performance here to the village truthfully, so after returning to the village, the teacher may talk to you. Orochimaru knows his teacher very well. Uchiha Mirai's display of such powerful strength will definitely arouse the teacher's fear. It's just that in that battle, Uchiha Mirai's performance was seen by everyone. He couldn't hide it even if he wanted to, so he could only report it truthfully. Of course, he didn't mention in the report that Uchiha Mirai had mastered the Flying Thunder God technique. You actually took the initiative to remind me. Are you ready to accept the conditions I offered? Uchiha Mirai smiled, with a calm expression on his face. With his current strength, what can Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo do to him? Mirai-kun, when things really develop as you expected, I will consider your proposal. I called you here this time just to hope that you can be mentally prepared in advance. Orochimaru did not hide his thoughts. Originally, he had some doubts about Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo because of Uchiha Mirai's words. Now is obviously a good time to make achievements and enhance prestige, but Sarutobi Hiruzen transferred him back to the village from the front line. This made Orochimaru more suspicious. In other words, although the things predicted by Uchiha Mirai have not happened yet, he has already lost trust in Sarutobi Hiruzen and others. Maybe the teacher really has the idea of training another successor. Hearing Orochimaru's words, Uchiha Mirai shrugged indifferently, there's nothing to prepare. At this time, your teacher will never allow the village to be in turmoil. Even if he has any ideas about me, he will wait until the war is over. Hearing this, Orochimaru showed a meaningful smile on his face. Yes, the teacher who was once known as the ninja hero is now old. A week later, Orochimaru led a group of ninjas back to Konoha village. The front line defeated the Hidden Cloud Village, and the ninjas of the Hidden Cloud Village suffered heavy casualties. The newly succeeded 4th generation Raikage also lost an arm on the battlefield. These news had already been passed back to the village, so the streets of Konoha were full of villagers cheering for Orochimaru and others. Everyone regarded them as heroes who protected the village. Among them, Orochimaru had the highest voice. Whenever he passed by, the villagers on both sides of the street would shout his name. Mirai-kun, it seems that your achievements have not been well publicized. Orochimaru looked at Uchiha Mirai and said with a smile. It's just a clumsy trick. After a while, there will be ninjas who will defend me. Uchiha Mirai said lightly. Of course, he would not expect Sarutobi Hiruzen and others to take the initiative to publicize his achievements, and it is natural that such a situation would occur. Anyway, most of the ninjas on the front line have returned to the village, and what happened on the front line will soon spread in the village. His prestige will also be established in the hearts of the villagers. After walking and stopping along the way, Orochimaru and Uchiha Mirai came to the Hokage's office. Pushing open the door, Sarutobi Hiruzen immediately showed a kind smile on his face. Orochimaru, Mirai, you are finally here. Sorry to have kept the teacher waiting for a long time. No problem. Sarutobi Hiruzen put down the scroll in his hand. You did a good job this time, and played the style of our Konoha village. Especially Mirai, you really made me look at you with new eyes. Hearing Sarutobi Hiruzen's meaningful words, Uchiha Mirai smiled. No, I did some trivial things. After all, I don't think the village has promoted me. Sarutobi Hiruzen was choked by Uchiha Mirai. He explained shamelessly, well, it's wartime now, and there are too many things that the village needs to deal with every day. I neglected this. After that, without waiting for Uchiha Mirai to speak, he forcibly changed the subject. Future, can you tell me why you are so strong? If I remember correctly, you just graduated from the ninja school for more than a year. Well, maybe it's because I'm really a genius. Uchiha Mirai's words made Sarutobi Hiruzen's face black, and he almost couldn't maintain his expression. Genius, you burn newspapers at the grave, fooling ghosts. Who here is not a genius? But he has never seen a genius who can defeat the fourth Hokage with overwhelming combat power and cut off his arm. Sarutobi Hiruzen forced a smile. Mirai, you are really joking. Your strength cannot be simply attributed to talent. I believe there must be other reasons. Hearing this, Uchiha Mirai nodded in agreement. As expected of the Sandaime, you are really sharp. I was just joking just now. Only 1% of my strength comes from my talent, and the remaining 99% all comes from my sweat. It can be said that talent is completely insignificant in front of my efforts. That's all, Uchiha Mirai said seriously. Who said that hard work is not hard work? This time, even Orochimaru was a little stunned. Good guy, he has never seen such a shameless person. Sarutobi Hiruzen almost vomited blood. I asked you to answer the question, not to brag about yourself here. But he also realized that even if he continued to ask, Uchiha Mirai would probably just play dumb. At the moment, Sarutobi Hiruzen could only give up helplessly. Orochimaru, Mirai, you two just came back from the front line, you two should rest well in the village for a while. Yes, after Uchiha Mirai and Orochimaru left, Shimura Danzo walked out from the shadows. Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned and took a deep puff of cigarette. Danzo, did you hear the conversation just now? Do you have anything to say? Hearing this, Shimura Danzo leaned his crutches hard on the ground, snorted coldly and said, it's obvious that Uchiha Mirai must have the power of the Mangekyo Sharingan. Mangekyo Sharingan. After hearing what Shimura Danzo said, Sarutobi Hiruzen nodded silently. He had also thought about this possibility, but it was not confirmed yet. Hiruzen, Uchiha Mirai is only 13 years old now, and it has only been more than a year since he graduated from the ninja school and became a ninja. Although he showed a strong talent in the battle with Hatake Kakashi on the day of his graduation from the ninja school, is it possible for him to grow to the point where he can easily crush the fourth Hokage in such a short time? Sarutobi Hiruzen thought about it and shook his head silently. Impossible. No matter how talented a ninja is, the growth of strength must follow objective laws. No matter how talented a ninja is, it is impossible to exert his full potential before the body grows up. Even Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara were the same back then. So, it must be that when the fourth Hokage fought with Uchiha Mirai, he suffered a great loss because he did not understand the mysterious abilities of the Mangekyo Sharingan. Shimura Danzo said firmly. Sarutobi Hiruzen did not refute, which was regarded as tacitly agreeing with Shimura Danzo's guess, and asked, then tell me what we should do. HMPH. I told you to hand Uchiha Mirai to me a long time ago. It is your indecision that has caused the current situation. Danzo, don't blame me now. Sarutobi Hiruzen waved his hand impatiently. Uchiha Mirai opened the Mangekyo Sharingan, which does not mean that my previous thoughts were wrong. What we are discussing now is what attitude we should take towards Uchiha Mirai in the future. Shimura Danzo smiled. It's very simple, hand him over to me. As long as he enters the route, I have 10,000 ways to make him obedient. Danzo, I will never hand Uchiha Mirai to you, don't mention this in the future. Sarutobi Hiruzen glared at Shimura Danzo with dissatisfaction. He knew the other party's little thoughts very well. Uchiha Mirai would probably become the sharpest knife in Danzo's hands if it fell into his hands. Once Danzo uses Uchiha Mirai to deal with him, he will be in trouble. As a partner who grew up together, Sarutobi Hiruzen knows his old friend very well. It is not surprising that Danzo does anything for the position of Hokage. Seeing that Sarutobi Hiruzen rejected his request, Shimura Danzo spread his hands directly, then I have nothing to say. Seeing that Shimura Danzo did not get the point, Sarutobi Hiruzen could only personally tell the plan he had thought of a long time ago. Since Uchiha Mirai has such a powerful force, he should make more contributions to the village. I plan to send Uchiha Mirai to the battlefield after a while. Maybe Mirai can once again reproduce the great victory in the war with the Hidden Cloud village. After hearing Sarutobi Hiruzen's plan, Shimura Danzo showed a sneer on his face. After the Mangekyo Sharingan is opened, it will gradually lose light as it is used. The higher the frequency of use, the faster the light will be lost. Sarutobi Hiruzen sent Uchiha Mirai to the battlefield, just to consume the power of Uchiha Mirai's Mangekyo Sharingan through the enemy. He could even infer and analyze the ability of Uchiha Mirai's Mangekyo Sharingan through fighting with the enemy. In this way, even if Uchiha Mirai was not completely blind after the war, he would not pose any threat to them. As for why Uchiha Mirai was sent out after a while, Shimura Danzo could guess roughly. It was nothing more than not wanting Uchiha Mirai, who had just defeated the fourth Hokage, to gain too much prestige in a short period of time. With such a deep scheming, even the teacher of the year would probably have to admit defeat, right? Danzo, what's that expression on your face? Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned and said to Shimura Danzo dissatisfiedly. Nothing. In the future, there is no need to ask me about things that you have already decided on. Nonsense. Sarutobi Hiruzen scolded. The plan just now was just something I thought of temporarily after rejecting your proposal. Whatever you say, after all, you are the Hokage now. Looking at the back of Shimura Danzo leaving, Sarutobi Hiruzen's mouth twitched. Why do I always feel that my lines have been robbed? After leaving the Hokage building, Uchiha Mirai bought a few strings of 3-color meatballs and rushed directly back to the clan. Walking on the street, the members of the Uchiha clan would stop and salute when they saw Uchiha Mirai. Even some children hid behind adults, holding snacks in their hands and secretly looking at him. Lai-sama, we have all heard your story. You were able to defeat even the fourth Hokage. You are so amazing. Yes, everyone says that our Uchiha clan has produced an incredible figure. Future Sama, if you come to my house for dinner in the future, I will give it to you for free. Now the reputation of our Uchiha clan will spread in the ninja world again. The village is really something. In this war period, the achievements of Future Sama should be well publicized. So, with the protection of our Uchiha clan, those guys who want to defeat Konoha are destined to be wishful thinking. Quote. Looking at the vivid expressions and cordial greetings on everyone's faces, Uchiha Mirai felt a sense of belonging to this ninja world. The previous life was like a dream, and now he was a native of the Uchiha clan. Blue Star could not be returned, and the Uchiha clan was his root. With him, he would never let the Uchiha clan fall into an almost genocidal ending like in the original book. Going straight home, Uchiha Mirai found that the house he had not returned to for nearly 2 months was spotless, as if someone often came to clean it for him. In this regard, Uchiha Mirai was a little confused. Strange, is there a snail girl in the ninja world? After sitting quietly for a while, Uchiha Mirai came to the kitchen and began to deal with the ingredients he had bought on the way back. He slept outside and lived on the soldiers' pills most of the time. Although he was not a picky eater, it was necessary to reward himself after returning. With the help of the shadow clone, a sumptuous meal was quickly prepared. Just when Uchiha Mirai was about to feast, a figure pushed open the door and walked in. Shisui. Quote. Looking at Uchiha Shisui holding a bucket and a rag, Uchiha Mirai immediately understood that it was probably Uchiha Shisui who had been helping him clean the house. Thinking of this, Uchiha Mirai was a little disappointed. He thought that a girl from the clan had a crush on him, so she came to clean the house for him, but it turned out to be Uchiha Shisui. Oh, the snail girl's dream was shattered. Shisui, do you come to clean for me at this time every day? Uchiha Mirai looked at Uchiha Shisui and asked. Uchiha Shisui shook his head. No, I only come here at night every day. But just now when I passed by Senior Mirai's house, I smelled a scent of rice. Hearing Uchiha Shisui's answer, Uchiha Mirai smiled helplessly. You little brat. Come here. Thank you, Senior Mirai. After bowing, Uchiha Shisui immediately trotted to the kitchen to get himself a pair of bowls and chopsticks. After returning to the room, Uchiha Shisui couldn't wait to start eating. This is the taste. Senior Mirai, I have wanted to eat the food you cooked for a long time. Uchiha Shisui said excitedly. Okay, talk less when eating. Yes, the two people were concentrating on eating, and soon the food on the table was wiped out. Touching his round belly, Uchiha Shisui burped contentedly. Smells good. It smells so good. Being able to eat with future senior is the happiest thing in his life. Looking at Uchiha Shisui's appearance, Uchiha Mirai smiled and said, Shisui, have you been lazy during my absence? Uchiha Shisui immediately sat up straight. Absolutely not. Future senior, in the ninja school, the other students are not my opponents. After Uchiha Shisui finished speaking, he seemed to remember something, and his expression became a little tangled, but Lord Fugaku came to me privately and wanted me to be a little low-key in the ninja school. Uchiha Mirai sneered. Fugaku, that guy really hasn't changed at all. He said the same thing to me at the beginning. Huh, Uchiha Shisui opened his mouth in surprise. According to his understanding, Uchiha Mirai is not low-key at all. He has been the first in the grade since he was in the ninja school. During the graduation exam, he defeated Kakashi Hatake, who was known as the No.1 genius ninja in Konoha. Now he is even more powerful in the ninja world, and even the newly appointed 4th Hokage had his arm chopped off. I didn't expect that he was warned by Lord Fugaku. Mirai-senpai, what do you think I should do? Uchiha Shisui asked. Mirai-senpai said that showing too much power will attract the fear of the village. I thought about it, and it seems to make sense. Once the village's attention is drawn in advance, it may have a bad impact on your plan, Mr. Future, right? Looking at Uchiha Shisui's worried look, Uchiha Mirai snorted. Shisui, feel free to show your talent. There is no need to worry about the village now. With me here, no one can touch the Uchiha. As the ninja clan that founded Konoha, Uchiha Mirai wants to lead the Uchiha clan to take over the power of Konoha with dignity and bring disgrace to those hypocritical guys, so he has not torn his face with Sarutobi Hiruzen and others for the time being. But this does not mean that he will compromise with the Konoha high level. Now it is not the Uchiha who should be worried and afraid, but the guys like Sarutobi Hiruzen. Looking at Uchiha Mirai's confident look, Uchiha Shisui's eyes are full of admiration. Inexplicably, Uchiha Shisui had a clear understanding in his heart. Like the future predecessor, this is what the Uchiha clan ninja should be like. Is a guy like Uchiha Fugaku really capable of leading the Uchiha clan well? Thinking of this, Uchiha Shisui said in a deep voice, Future senior, I understand what you mean. Please rest assured, I will not let the Uchiha reputation you have made before be ruined in my hands. Uchiha Mirai patted Uchiha Shisui's shoulder with satisfaction. Young and frivolous, showing off one's talents, this is what young people should be like. Future senior, do you want to compete for the leader of the Uchiha clan? If it is you, maybe you can get everyone's support. Compared with Uchiha Mirai, Uchiha Fugaku is too bad. In Uchiha Shisui's heart, Uchiha Mirai is the most perfect candidate for the leader of the Uchiha clan. No need, my focus now is mainly on the battlefield of the ninja world. Everything will be settled after the war on the border. What he wants to do most now is to continuously improve his strength through war. These things that fight for power will only affect the speed of his sword drawing. That's right, Uchiha Mirai took out a specially made Flying Thunder God kunai from his arms and placed it in front of Uchiha Shisui. Shisui, carry this kunai with you. If you are in danger, transfer chakra into the kunai. I can sense it immediately. Due to his arrival, the butterfly effect has gradually appeared. Uchiha Mirai is not sure whether Sarutobi Hiruzen and others will attack Uchiha Shisui. Uchiha Shisui is a rare subordinate. In order to prevent accidents, he should give Uchiha Shisui a kunai for self-defense. As long as Uchiha Shisui is in danger, he can instantly teleport to the other party through the Flying Thunder God technique. Future senior, I will never let you down. After Uchiha Shisui finished his housework, he stopped disturbing him and left with his bucket. After he left, Uchiha Mirai fell asleep in the room. He was tense for a long time, and he wanted to relax. A wisp of wind blew across his face, bringing a hot breath. 2 months have passed since Uchiha Mirai returned to the village. During this period, Sarutobi Hiruzen has not looked for him again, and he is happy about it. Except for occasionally cooperating with Yuhi Kurenai and Sarutobi Asuma to take a mission, his daily life is eating, drinking and digesting the power that has suddenly increased in his body some time ago. Until now, Uchiha Mirai has completely adapted to the power in his body. The emotions that have become a little indifferent due to too much killing have gradually returned to their original state. On the street, Uchiha Mirai is holding a box of small cakes, eating while looking at his attribute panel. Name: Uchiha Mirai. Physique: 521. Spiritual power: 498. Chakra: 503. Opening square bracket comma closing square bracket. Physique and chakra have both exceeded 500 points, only mental power is still a little short, but it is already very terrifying. Uchiha Mirai estimates that with his current strength, he should have entered the level of Super Shadow level. In this era when the cage level is the ceiling, the strength of the Super Cage level is already unique. Moreover, Uchiha Mirai can clearly feel that his 3 Magatama Sharingan is about to evolve again. It's almost time to rest, and it's time to go to the battlefield to harvest another wave of attribute points. Since everything has been adjusted to the best state, Uchiha Mirai also plans to temporarily end his current idle life. After the dinner with Yuhi Kurenai and others tonight, he will leave the village to go to the battlefield. That's right, Uchiha Mirai touched his chin. Before leaving the village, he will also give Might Guy a special kunai. In this way, when the opponent encounters the 7 ninja swordsmen of the Hidden Mist village, he can quickly support them through the Flying Thunder God technique. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully plundering the reward, Spiritual Power +1. Hearing the prompt of the system in his mind, Uchiha Mirai put the knife on Hitaki Kakashi's neck back into the scabbard. A wailing sound came from the side. Is it still not working? Kakashi, you idiot, but you are already a Jonin. Uchiha Obito originally thought that after Hitaki Kakashi was promoted to Jonin, he might be able to defeat Uchiha Mirai, but he didn't expect that he was still beaten by Uchiha Mirai with one hand. This made Uchiha Obito very depressed. It's okay that he can't beat him, why is he so much worse than Kakashi? Obito, Mirai is a strong man who can defeat the Raikage. What's so strange about Kakashi not being his opponent? Nohara Rin looked at Uchiha Obito and chuckled. Tisk. What's wrong with defeating the Raikage? After I become Hokage, I will definitely be able to defeat all other cages. Uchiha Obito said unconvinced, but as soon as he finished speaking, there was a burst of laughter around him. Obito, I'm not trying to hit you, how dare you, a last place person, say such a thing. That's right, you guys who have to take the Chunin exam twice to pass it, don't daydream here. Okay, let's go in and eat something, we're already hungry. Hearing the ridicule of the crowd, Uchiha Obito screamed angrily. If it wasn't for Nohara Rin holding him, he might have lost his temper on the spot. Entering the barbecue restaurant, the group found a secluded seat and sat down. Today's dinner was to celebrate Hitaki Kakashi's promotion to Jonin and Uchiha Obito's promotion to Chunin. Shiranui Genma, Ebisu, Yuhi Kurenai, Sarutobi Asuma, Nohara Rin and others were all here. Namikaze Minato was absent because he was still fighting the ninjas of the Sand Village on the front line. After everyone sat down, plates of barbecue were brought up soon, and Uzumaki Kushina happened to open the door and walked in. Am I late? Uzumaki Kushina smiled and greeted everyone, then glanced at the angry Uchiha Obito and pouted immediately. Are you guys bullying Obito again? Everyone shook their heads hurriedly. Everyone knew Kushina's temper. Except for Uchiha Mirai, no one else dared to provoke her. Master's wife, they just don't believe that I can become Hokage in the future. I will definitely prove to them that becoming Hokage is not just something I say casually. Hearing Uchiha Obito's declaration, Uzumaki Kushina smiled and touched Obito's head. Obito, I believe in you. You will definitely be able to realize your dream in the future. But before that, shouldn't you take your feet off the table, idiot? Bang! Uchiha Obito couldn't help but cry out in pain after being hit on the head, but he was not angry at all. Because besides Lin, only the master's wife would seriously encourage and believe in him. Speaking of which, you little guys must be careful when performing tasks. The ninja world has started to get chaotic again recently. I heard that someone found traces of ninjas from the Hidden Mist village in the eastern coastal area of the Land of Fire. Of course, except for you, Mirai. Uzumaki Kushina looked at Uchiha Mirai and said with a smile, Mirai, you seem to be a little too lazy recently, right? I have never seen a ninja who can be as leisurely as you all day long. Uchiha Mirai ignored Uzumaki Kushina's ridicule, but instead focused his eyes on Ebisu and Shiranui Genma. Why hasn't Kai come yet? It's the time everyone agreed on now. According to Might Guy's personality, he shouldn't be late. Uchiha Mirai felt a sense of uneasiness in his heart. He and Uncle Dai went out of the village to carry out the mission together. What? Uchiha Mirai slapped his hand on the table, making a muffled sound, and everyone present was startled by his action. They had known Uchiha Mirai for so long, but this was the first time they saw Uchiha Mirai so excited. Mirai, did something happen? Shiranui Genma spit out the senbon in his mouth and asked in confusion. Uchiha Mirai did not answer, but continued to ask, aren't you a team? Why didn't you go on the mission together? Because it was a mission that Uncle Dai suddenly received last night, he needed a genin to assist, so Kai just left us a note and followed along, saying that he was going to transport a batch of supplies to the east. We are also today. I just found out about this morning. Shiranui Genma explained. So that's how it is. Mirai, what happened? Uzumaki Kushina and the others all looked at Uchiha Mirai in confusion. Uchiha Mirai's face returned to its usual calmness. It's okay, it's just that the weapon that Kai asked me to find someone to make for him some time ago has been completed, and I was originally planning to give it to him tonight. Hehe, it's the same if I wait for Kai to come back and give it to him. Originally, I planned to do so, but after listening to Kushina's words, I always felt a little uneasy. They have just walked for a day and a night. Because they are escorting supplies, their speed must not be fast. It should be in time to catch up now. Uchiha Mirai muttered, and showed a hint of apologetic smile to everyone. I'm sorry this time, I'll treat everyone to a meal next time. Quote. Seeing Uchiha Mirai leaving, Uzumaki Kushina was anxious. Mirai, it's so late. Ninjas cannot leave the village without the warrant of the third Hokage. It's okay. The guards can't stop me. Uchiha Mirai said, activated the instant body technique, and his figure disappeared immediately. Uzumaki Kushina slapped her forehead speechlessly. Is she worried about whether the guards can stop her? Leaving the village without permission is likely to be identified as a traitor. Even she didn't dare to do such an outrageous thing. This guy, Mirai, is too chaotic. Forget it, leave him alone. Don't go out and talk nonsense, understand? Yes, I understand. Quote, Hitaki Kakashi, Ebisu, Sarutobi Asuma and others all looked at each other in bewilderment. He was willing to sneak out of the village to deliver the new weapon to Kai. Mirai is such a good friend. Even Uchiha Obito, who had always been at odds with Uchiha Mirai, had a change of heart towards Uchiha Mirai. Only Uzumaki Kushina sighed. Really, he would cause her some trouble. However, with Mirai's achievements and her begging for mercy from the third-generation old man, the matter should not be too serious. When that brat comes back, I must ask him to cook more meals for her. Uzumaki Kushina didn't know that Uchiha Mirai didn't care about what she was worried about. Uchiha Mirai directly activated the Flying Thunder God technique and came to the marked point outside the village, and rushed to the east without stopping. The eastern line is the eastern border of the Land of Fire. It faces the Land of Water across the sea, with a long coastline. During this sensitive period, Might Guy went there with Might Guy to perform the mission, and Uchiha Mirai instantly thought of a plot in the original book. When the team of Guy was escorting supplies, they were attacked by the 7 ninja swordsmen of the Hidden Mist village. In the end, Might Guy opened the 8th gate of the 8 gates of Dunjia, the Death Gate, at the cost of his life, and pulled Might Guy and his men back from the brink of death. It was for this reason that after he returned to the village, he told Might Guy that if he wanted to leave the village, he must tell him in advance. During the day, he was still thinking about giving Might Guy a special Flying Thunder God kunai after the party today. But unexpectedly, Guy didn't tell him, and he went to perform the mission with Might Guy himself. Now the two have been walking for a day and a night. If they meet the 7 ninja swordsmen on the way like in the original plot, it will be troublesome. I was careless this time. It seems that I can't do things based on experience in the future. Quote. Uchiha Mirai reflected secretly. Although I don't know if the mission Might Guy accepted this time is the same as the one in the original story, but because of his arrival, the ninja world has changed a lot. The plots in the original story can no longer be taken for granted. In the dense forest within the Land of Fire, there were many bodies lying on the ground. Some bodies were chopped into pieces, and some bodies were covered with black scorch marks. Some bodies had their skin and flesh turned inside out, and some bodies had lost their heads. There were even several bodies sewn together with steel wires. The scene looked extremely bloody and brutal. 2 Konoha ninjas in green tights stood in front of the supply truck, with ugly expressions on their faces. Opposite them were 7 ninjas wearing forehead protectors from the Hidden Mist village. They had different weapons in their hands, and all had bloodthirsty and crazy smiles on their faces. Fugu Ghost, how about leaving the last 2 guys to me? I just heard that kid calling the other guy, father. If we can sew them together, it will be a worthy death for them. Kurashai Kushimaru's cold voice sounded, and he casually threw away the blood beads on the long knife and sewing needle. Kurihan Kushimaru, you've killed a lot of people just now. These 2 guys should be handed over to me. My beheading sword has been thirsty for a long time. Biwa Juzo danced with a sword flower, and a beheading sword was carried on his shoulder, looking extremely ferocious. How can you do this kind of thing? Isn't it always the puffer ghost who does the finishing work? Murray Shinpachi laughed. His weapon is the explosive sword Famo, which can summon countless detonating scrolls to attack the enemy. Even if they are immortal, they will be blown into powder by his attack. It's a pity that they are now carrying out an assassination mission, which is not suitable for him to take action. As for the other Kurochu Raiga, Tongsao Yebiran and others, they just stood quietly by the side, obviously not interested in this topic. Hearing Murray Shinpachi's words, Zigwashin Puffer Ghost snorted lightly and smashed the sword in his hand, Samahata, heavily to the ground. Those 2 guys don't have much chakra, I'm not interested in them. If any of you want to attack, hurry up, we're not here to play. His weapon Samahata can absorb the enemy's chakra, but the 2 Konoha ninjas on the opposite side have too little chakra, so he doesn't even have the interest to attack. In that case, let's go together, whoever grabs it will get it. Kurihane Kushimaru looked at Biwa Juzo and said. Biwa Juzo nodded. No problem, but you'd better stay away from me, otherwise I won't be responsible if you get killed by accident later. Kurihane Kushimaru sneered. The same goes for you in that case. I don't mind sewing your body together with these Konoha trash. Father, what should we do now? Might Guy looked at the murderous 7 ninja swordsmen on the opposite side, and his voice couldn't help but tremble. The opposite side was too cruel, and they killed all their companions who were on the mission with them the moment they appeared. The miserable death almost made him vomit on the spot. These ninjas from the Hidden Mist village are too cruel. Might Guy's face was solemn, and he blocked Might Guy behind him. Kai, stay away from me later. No, father, you are definitely not their opponent, I will not run away. Even if I die, I will fight with you to the end. Might Guy said loudly. Unexpectedly, Might Guy showed a warm smile on his face. Kai, I will not lose. Have you forgotten that I still have that trick? Hearing Might Guy's words, 2 lines of tears immediately welled up in Might Guy's eyes. Father, maybe we can have other ways. Don't cry, if we don't fight hard, we will both die here. Might Guy said in a deep voice. He had guessed the identities of the 7 people on the opposite side, the 7 ninja swordsmen of the Hidden Mist village. With their own swords, each of them has the strength comparable to the elite ninja. It is said that when they work together, they can exert a power that is not inferior to that of a cage-level warrior. Facing such an enemy, if you don't fight hard at the beginning, then in the end, it is very likely that you will not have enough time to fight hard. Thinking of this, Might Guy turned around and smiled, showing a row of white teeth and raised his thumb. Kai, look, now is the time for me to burn my youth. Looking at Might Guy's determined eyes, Might Guy bit his lips and stood silently in the distance. Seeing this scene, Kurashin Kushimaru, who was walking slowly towards this side, laughed gloomily. Have you finished your last words? What a pity, you are destined to be doing useless work, after all, you are destined to die here today. As soon as Kurishin Kushimaru finished speaking, he suddenly saw the honest man with a beard in front of him. The man raised his fist and pointed it at his heart. Then the man's body was wrapped in a layer of red steam. The next second, the man's body disappeared. Boom! A cloud of blood mist floated in the air, and the upper body of Kurishin Kushimaru disappeared directly. Seeing this scene, the originally arrogant 7 ninja swordsmen were stunned. Kurishin Kushimaru was actually knocked out by a punch. Feeling the violent and amazing breath, the other 6 people felt a sense of horror in their hearts. Biwa Juzo immediately pulled back and held the beheading sword across his chest. The red light flashed again, and Biwa Juzo felt as if his chest was hit hard, and his body flew backwards. The beheading sword in his hand was actually broken in the middle by a punch. This guy used a secret technique, let's go together. Seeing the miserable state of Biwa Juzo and Kurikawa Kushimaru, Zigwashin Puffer immediately drew out Samahata and rushed towards Might Guy. The rest of the people also immediately picked up their weapons and slashed at Might Guy, who turned red. But compared with Might Guy, who opened the death gate of the 8 gates of ninjutsu, their speed was too slow. Bang, 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 1 punch each. In just a short moment, Murray Shinpachi, Tonkusa Yaito and the other 3 were killed by Might Guy. Zigwashin Puffer was also punched through the chest, but he survived by chance because of Samahata's treatment. Seeing that 4 of his former teammates who fought side by side died in an instant, Zigwashin Puffer dared not continue to attack, and began to run to the back carrying Samahata. As for Black Ho Raiga, as soon as Zigwashin Pufferfish Ghost gave the order, he quickly fled in the opposite direction. The red light stopped, and Might Guy stood on the ground panting. His body had become almost like charcoal. The meridians in his body were clearly visible, and the blood flowing in it was like boiling magma, gradually cooling down. Father! Might Guy cried and rushed to Might Guy, and was a little overwhelmed for a while. Might Guy tried to raise his arm and then dropped it heavily. He lost his life without saying a word. Father! Might Guy was heartbroken. Everyone died. Why would there be a war in the ninja world? When will such a chaotic world end? At this moment, a figure appeared above Might Guy's head, glanced down, threw a kunai and inserted it into the open space next to Might Guy, and then disappeared from Guy's sight without stopping. Looking at the figure that appeared and disappeared immediately, Might Guy widened his eyes in surprise. In the future, why did he appear here? I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.